to serve you.
Oh, what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
For the first time that we know of, a member of the U.S. military has come down with monkeypox. Fox's Roger Stern reports.
Word of this first documented case comes from EUCOM. The U.S. military's European command says the patient is stationed in Germany and is a member of the Stuttgart military community. The service member is not being identified publicly and is being treated at an Army health clinic. The military says the risk to the overall population is low, but medical workers who had contact with the patient are doing contact tracing as a precaution. Monkeypox is less serious than smallpox and commonly presents with sores and flu-like symptoms. It's usually transmitted through bodily contact involving open sores. Roger Stern, Fox News.
French voters today chose lawmakers in a parliamentary election as President Emmanuel Macron seeks to secure his majority. More than 6,000 candidates are running for 577 seats in the National Assembly for the first round. Those who receive the most votes will advance to the decisive second round next Sunday. You may not think the U.S. produced many great diamonds, but the new Great American Diamonds exhibit at the Smithsonian is out to change that.
It's a patriotic display of diamonds at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History, featuring some hefty gems found in the USA. There's the Uncle Sam diamond, an emerald-cut stone fashioned from the largest uncut American diamond ever found. It's about 12.5 carats, cut from a whopping 40-carat stone found in Arkansas. Then there's the Freedom Diamond, made from a 28-carat crystal found in Colorado. And if that's not enough to dazzle you, the museum has over 10,000 other precious stones, including the Hope Diamond. Jill Nato, Fox News.
I'm Joe Chiaro, Fox News.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
The 2022 GSPN Boys Volleyball All-Star Game presented by the Guam Army National Guard goes down Sunday, June 12th at the FD Phoenix Center. The best high school players from both the public and private schools will put their talents on display, coached by the champion coaches. Watch it live at the Phoenix Center or streaming on GuamSportsNetwork.com, powered by IT&E. The 2022 GSPN Boys Volleyball All-Star Game, June 12th.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APO. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APO is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Half a day at 6:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. Well, not too many details as of yet, but officials have told us that a portion of Route 8 near Palomo Store has been closed off following an accident that took place in that area. Motorists are being asked to take an alternate route as emergency officials respond to that scene. We are told that the crash may have involved a fatality, but again, no further details are available just yet. Meanwhile, police are looking into the cause of a single vehicle accident that occurred on Saturday night. The Guam Daily Post reported that the crash involved an overturned Jeep near Laddie Heights with parts of the vehicle strewn on the roadside and a portion of the Jeep wrapped around some vegetation. Officer Berlin Sevilla of GPD said that one person was taken to GRMC with non-fatal injuries. While the investigation is ongoing, Sevilla confirmed that the department's Highway Patrol Division wasn't activated to that scene. Meanwhile, full details have yet to be shared regarding a fatal crash that took place along Marine Corps Drive on Friday. A man who family members identified as Eric Pangilinan died when the Jamaican grill van he was driving crashed into a utility pole in front of Vince Jewelry. The man's aunt told the Guam Daily Post that she was gassing her car at the mobile gas station when she witnessed that crash. It took place about 11 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, a man accused of abusing 3 children faces additional criminal sexual conduct charges after a teenage girl alleged that he molested and raped her for 10 years. 45-year-old Gregorio Romolor was charged with criminal sexual conduct. The child, who's now 16, allegedly told police last month that the sexual abuse occurred multiple times starting in 2011. The most recent incident, she said, occurred in August of 2021. Romolor denied the allegations. At the time of his arrest, though, according to the Post, he was on pretrial release for a case reported last February in which he was charged with 4 counts of child abuse and 3 counts of family violence as misdemeanors. The child in that case allegedly told police that she and her siblings were abused by Romolor, and his wife, Marcelina Romolor, would watch. She said that the alleged abuse had been going on for more than 10 years as well. We'll have more news right after this.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
The Guam Board of Medical Examiners now has dedicated legal counsel for cases that are on a path toward adjudication. During the Medical Examiners Board meeting last week, the legal counsel, Rob Weinberg, confirmed that the Health Professional Licensing Office has hired 2 attorneys to represent GMBE in court. Attorney Joe McDonald with McDonald Law Offices and John Visosky of Robert Fowler and Visosky have been retained by the legal counsel. Weinberg says it's for those cases that look like they are moving forward into something that may require disciplinary action against the licensee. The attorneys will provide the services GMBA may need to investigate the cases. Now, the attorneys will be of service in cases such as the complaints filed against Dr. Yu Okoma, who is accused of sexual misconduct involving 2 female patients. And finally, the Department of Public Works is planning to meet next week with an engineering firm to negotiate an assessment work for the Agana Pool that's been closed for nearly 2 years. DPW's director, Vince Arreola, says that the project will update the 2014 assessment of the pool, as well as conduct a new assessment to give us a plan of attack, he says, on whether the pool can be salvaged. He expects that assessment will be done soon. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Well, 90 to 120 days, according to the article, before they have just the assessment. Mm-hmm. And then they still have to figure out what it is that they're going to decide to do. Rehabilitate it, raise the thing or do whatever. And then how many more weeks, months, years before something actually gets done until we might be able to take ourselves and our swimming chutes and go and swim in the Agana Pool. And here's the point that has to be made is when they do reopen it, don't poop in the pool. Oh yeah. You remember they had to shut it down like twice when in the last. But I don't know. It's ancient history now. I don't think anybody remembers.
Snake. The brown pool snake. Man.
Well, I was at GITA at the time they were doing that assessment back in 2014, and I remember that the reason why they were going to have problems with it, and they anticipated it back then, is because it's built on a swamp. Mm-hmm. So they said, we'll fix it, but it's not going to be a long-term fix because it's on a swamp, and so the ground will shift. And the same thing goes with the tennis court. And they were funded under the hot bond projects. Mm-hmm. And so the tennis court will always have those cracks because when the ground shifts, because it's on a swamp, it's going to have cracks and all of these things. So you're always going to be putting Band-Aids on.
But I mean, are the problems there's an example, the swimming pool, is that problem associated with issues with the foundation, or was it just lack of maintenance, lack of funding,
I think
bad
it was
management?
All of it, the lack of maintenance on the pump system, which was always breaking. But the the foundation under the pool is always going to shift because of the ground not being solid.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm anticipating it's going to say when the assessment comes up.
And so take it and
I'll bet
and
you $5.
Okay, and then it was some rocket scientists back in the 1970s put it in basically Jello, built the pool in the Jello. Now where are they going to put it now? Where's a good place to do this? I think Tiedzen was mentioned as one of the bright spots there.
Possibly.
But go take a look at the quality and the maintenance of the tennis courts that already exist up there in the fields and things like that. So I don't know. We're gonna have to outsource that if you want to. Scattered showers in today's forecast. It says mainly before 10 o'clock this morning. Mostly cloudy. Then highs near 89 degrees east. Winds 9 to 15 miles an hour. I got to get some of these sunrise pictures up. Sarita and Jeff from Pirates Cove have just been going click crazy, shutter crazy, if you will, this morning. So that's on the way. But I want to give you an idea of what the forecast area looks like. You see the whole bunch of snotty clouds that seem to be making their way like they want to do a tour through the Mariana Islands. And I think that's where we're going to get these scattered showers earlier this morning. Isolated showers in the forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy. Lows around 77 degrees. Daytime highs, east winds 8 to 14 miles an hour. For tomorrow, partly sunny skies returning to the forecast area. Highs near 89 degrees. Slight breezes 8 to 13 miles an hour. And the same thing for tomorrow night. With the heat index, it'll feel like 94. Incredible. Oh my God, it's hot and muggy degrees. Sunrise this morning was at 5:53. Sunset tonight at 6:48. Hashtag tell the others in case you missed that gorgeous sunset last night. We all lined up in some of the usual spots. Pull out your new camera that you got with your PUA money. Take a look at those pictures. Yeah, we wanted to go, but I don't have gas to drive to the beach to go and watch the sunset. I have to do it standing on the roof of the house. There it is. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 67 some odd years.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Come into GTA today and show your dad you know what's best. Just in time for Father's Day, sign up for any smartphone on HPO with our Live Unlimited plan for only $55 a month and get a $100 Home Depot e-gift card too. New customers can also enjoy a $100 port-in credit. Now that's a deal that would make any dad proud. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details or visit gta.net for more info. GTA, we start with Dad.
Thanks, Gurley. 6:15 in the morning. Greg Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines. A global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by the team that we've lined up over at Security Title. Ron and Kim in lead over there, making sure that everybody's title has been reviewed and it's clean, and we don't have to worry about somebody coming up to you later saying, how come you move here? This is still my family's property, man. What's up with that? That's what they do. They also take care of escrow and all kinds of other fun stuff over at Security Title.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255. I'm getting there. It's Monday, kind of slow to start. The big news here that we got to tell you about is if you are a Route 8 person, you are probably going to get turned around. We're looking at this word we're getting from folks at and near the scene is that there has been a vehicle rollover there, and rollover is not bad enough. It apparently hit a pole. Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It rolled over or flipped and hit the pole. And so they have traffic north and southbound shut down. So all traffic's going to be turned around. So that's probably the movement that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Cars turning
I've
around.
got this. I've zoom out a little bit. If you're watching on the screen, I've got the traffic gizmo that's out, and it's got this yellowish kind of orange band on it. And that generally means the traffic is moving very, very slowly through there, much slower. It's not quite red, and that might account for just a little bit of foot traffic or whatever kind of in that area. But at the edges of it, that's where we're seeing some cars moving in the opposite direction. So if you are on Route 8 and you have not yet been turned around, you're very, very likely that you will be north or southbound, and so you might need to sneak in and find some of those peekaboo streets that'll cut you. No, if you do, 20 miles per hour, please slow down in the village. There's children out there, but you might need to duck into the villages and find your way back to Roy T. Damien or over to Ledzing and sneak your way in and out of the village that way. 6:17 in the morning, we'll follow that. And if you've got any information, and as the sun is coming up, pictures that you can share, as long as they're not gruesome, we'd sure like to see what's going on out there. Some interesting pictures floating around about the accident on Friday. Is it me, or we just having more and more worse accidents? I mean, is it no more fender benders anymore? If somebody gets into an accident, bam, shuts down the road for 2 hours. Police got to come in and do the thing. Ambulances and fire trucks moving in all kinds of directions. Guys, drive carefully out there. I mean, there's no reason to be in a hurry about everything. Nothing on Guam is any further than about 45 minutes. I mean, even yesterday, we went to do some hiking yesterday. I finally had an opportunity to hike with Reed Topaznia.
Oh, yeah.
The great Reed Topaz. No, wait a second. Do I have pictures of
He's
me?
my classmate.
That's your classmate?
Yeah, from
I didn't
grade 2.
I didn't know that, but we were out there in the boondocks down south. I didn't send it to me yet. Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to me soon.
I saw it though.
Yeah.
He is a master lead hiker, man.
Well, so we were in the boondocks, not quite boondocks. We go to Tanaga Falls, that area, which is just a great gem. It's like a little garden off in a spot, but it's not. It's one of those things where you have to know where it is because otherwise you'll overshoot it. And so we were walking towards it, and there's a group of hikers coming this way, and they're going, "Are you guys going to Tanago by any chance?" Yeah. Where is it? It's behind you. You guys, you're almost to the school now. And they said, "Well, we looked and we couldn't find anything." And he said, "Well, just hang out with us." And but he was also, really generous. This is what I like about him. He was really generous with his guides. He's like, tell you how to do things. And so we're out there, and I've been there a dozen times, but I've never gone the direct route. I'm always doing that with my other friends, goofing off and making our own kind of trails
along the way.
Yeah. So he gets up to this promontory. He says, "Do you see that stand of bamboo trees over there?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "Just keep moving in that direction, and that will take you down into a little bit of valley before you get to the falls." And I said, "That's great." He says, "Yeah, everything else changes around here because the erosion will make things change, and the Jeep trails will change when the guys find different ways to get around there. But the things that don't change are some of the things like a stand of bamboo that doesn't go away. And anybody that has bamboo in their garden knows exactly what I'm talking about." 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name, Ray. That's Real Joe. He gets the phone when you call at 888-8255-671. 888-TALK is the telephone number. The meme machine is online. I'm getting all kinds of memes from all kinds of people. What have we got here? Is this one of the things I can do? I got this from Carl Meyer. He's on the Herodot. It's this picture of Joe Biden eating ice cream. He says, "They call me 007. 0 things built, 0 things better, $7 gasoline soon." 634 on Guam. Is that what we're charging for a gallon of gasoline? I've not all the way through the weekend tried to stay away from oil prices and things like that because I know where I left it on Friday, and I'm kind of hesitant to take a look at it today and see what was going on. I had a dream over the weekend that it had gone down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I woke up smiling from that dream. I was smiling like Beyonce was next to me or something like that. And I passed by a gas station on Saturday morning, and it was still 6:34. And I said, and I was also on zero. I was also on E for Ever Ready in the car. And I thought, well, I better get some gas in there today. Otherwise, I might miss the opportunity to buy it at these still somewhat low prices. And so I did. So I'm feeling good just for a couple of minutes. And then there's all kinds of other stuff. Are we not in the midst of the hottest days ever in the history of Guam?
Sweltering, man.
What have you been doing to beat the heat, Real Joe?
Staying inside, not moving. Try to stay still. Just don't move, man.
Get the door to the
I
refrigerator
close all the
open.
shutters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, blocking out all the sunlight and everything.
Absolutely.
Just trying to.
But the problem is with the shutters are metal, right? So
Yeah.
you get the metal shutters and you put that up and it radiates the heat directly from the. It's like being inside the oven. Now, Montecillo Tyrant, what are you doing to alleviate the heat that doubtless you are going through?
I'm jacking up the aircon.
Is it? Everybody.
Lowest setting. 64 degrees in every single room. Let it run all day.
What is?
No, I'd rather OGPA than the bank.
Well, and in this case, it's going to be easy.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Another one. I got the thing from myenergy.com, whatever. I got the note this morning, and which means that I'm over 50 for yesterday, and I'm afraid to look at it because I got a feeling. Well, yeah, because I kind of did the same thing as Mana. I just got tired of putting up with it, so I figured, all right, I'll just do without something else. I'll do without something else. I will not drink.
It's gonna sacrifice.
I'm going to sacrifice
Yeah,
something.
we don't need to eat like steak. We'll just
Look at this.
But I don't know what I'm going to sacrifice anymore. This is my
Vienna sausage and Ichiban for the next month.
I might have some of that. I keep that. That's the stuff I keep in my when the bright flash comes.
Would you rather have water? Would you have flowing water or power? You could sacrifice your water.
Oh yeah.
You just cancel the water.
I know where to
service,
go. I know where I got to come here for water if I need to. Yeah, what do you got to do? I don't know. I got to use the bathroom. I got to go to the office.
Bird bath. Bird bath.
So I do that too.
Me
I
too.
do that too.
Okay.
If I'm outside working out or fixing
Go
the
to a
yard or something
hotel.
like that, just get the hose and spray myself down with the hose like I'm
Go
one
to
of the
a
dogs.
hotel, jump in the pool real quick, and then.
If they let you, 623. I put this picture up on the screen here, and it is one of our Korean visitors to Guam's on the beach, and you might be thinking, oh man, what are you pervy, Ray? What are you doing? And I went up to the woman and I asked
What
if I
is
could take a
going on
picture.
there?
She's fiddling with her camera. I think she's some kind of one of these influencers,
there's
right?
someone in there.
She's playing with the camera tripod, and she's got all of her stuff set up on the beach. This is how hot it was. This Friday afternoon, like 4:30, something like that, over in Tumon. And you note in the picture, there's a fan. She brought a stand-up fan to the beach. And
The times are changing, bro.
I'm sure she liked the sand blowing with the fan.
With the fan blowing the sand off. But I'm watching her, and like I said, I think she's one of these influencers or something for Instagram. It's a battery-operated stand-up fan. And she had the thing, and it everything folds down back into the floor of the footing of the thing. That little round thing that supports everything
Where
else.
do we get that, Ray?
I think in Korea.
I have now seen it all.
Exactly. I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, I wish Mom had something like that in her life. What is this? It's a standing fan for wherever you go, even the beach, ladies and gentlemen. 6:25 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Speaking of beach eaters,
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
I didn't know her name.
You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Do I have it? I'm okay. Have I saved them all? I got a whole bunch of pictures to share with you on the program. I'll get around to doing some of that. I got a buddy of mine. His name's Steve. Steve, hey Steve.
Oh, Stevie.
What's up, hey, Steve? And Steve was telling me about the adventures over at the commissary over the last couple of days, and I'm like, what? He says, dude, the shelves are empty. And he sent me some pictures of empty shelves over at whatever, I don't know which base exchange.
The empty sriracha shelf. Oh my gosh, I've been dying for sriracha and I can't find it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't have any.
So I got a buddy of mine. You know why? Because we said on the radio that there was going to be a shortage.
Buying it.
There's a picture of one of my friends, Dave, in Facebook, and he's got 3 of these big, like 1 liter srirachas in front of him.
So I looked up a recipe
Just in
and I
case.
found it just in case I have to make my own.
All right, gotcha. 888-8255-888-TALK. Do I have the listing here of of all of the people that have beat everybody to the Facebook Live. Yes, it is. Rico Blankenfloor, big man Rico B.
Good morning, big man.
At number one, I got the hot sister of the program, Pam Duvall, and that's groovy. Lena McDaniel saying, Sarita saw you at JPC yesterday morning, and Sarita's going to bounce back and answer in a second. Vince Mesa says, hey, you guys.
Hey, Viva, Vince Mesa.
No, that's Vince Bora you're thinking of.
He's
Vince,
the
this is guitar
ukulele
Vince.
guy.
It's a guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar Vince Mesa online. Jose Tetpago, definitely a ton of tourists and locals out at the Molesso Pier Saturday and Sunday. That's kind of neat, isn't it? Watching the rebirth of the hospitality industry here on Guam. And Koreans bringing their fans to the beach. It's just something special about all of that. Greg Fausto says, might be Texas, 102 degrees. I'm hearing bigger numbers. From all my white friends that are telling me about their family and friends in the States. What? It's what everybody calls them.
We are white, man.
I know. Everybody says, hey, what are you doing with your white friends this weekend? Rudy Rodolfo, the original Burger King, online here this morning. Good to see you, Your Highness. Jimenez Hesa, buenos Zen Day to you. And Sarita says to Lynn, you should have approached us. That's me, and Lynn McAfee was there. Good to see you online here, Sarita. Dennis Benzer saying, right-click, absolutely, buddy. Al Moser and Sarah Lake reminding me, need to get a haircut. Went all the way through the weekend and didn't. I gave it one thought. A buddy of mine comes up to me on Saturday. Says, "Is this a new look, Ray? Are you trying to generate a new look? You're the guy that's trying to bring back acid wash jeans and puka shells and members only jackets. Is this like a throwback to the 1970s?" I said, "Well, basically, I'm lazy, but I'm thinking about it now. In the 1970s, this would have been considered short hair." But now, in 2022, and maybe the fact that I'm much older than that, it's actually long and flyaway and borderline. The homeless people are walking over and handing me
it's very
coins.
McConaughey, Ray.
Homeless people are giving me money. Eep out a nice, decent-sized crowd on Saturday. Joe Cruz, hey, I know that guy online. Dave Duenas, buenos Zen Day to you. Ismail, Dennis Benzer, you know how we figure that crap out. The commander receives a P4 message with an ICD-9 code and the last four of the social security number of the initial. We match the last four against the access list and find out who is the... Oh, I can't say that on the radio. I can't... something spanker. Come on. No. Hey, I try to read all of these things, and I took that speed reading course back in the day, but there's certain combinations of letters that you cannot speed read until you kind of get to them. Something spanker. A day. Who else is there? Julene Helgenberger is online. I see Alex Affleck saying good morning, Chairman Ray and staff. Joanne Titano, Brad Wood, John Ray Titano, Frankie Paris saying good morning. What a fine day to be alive. Beautiful pictures that are coming in on WhatsApp and the meme machine. But I thought, I was talking about it. Better put it on. There it is. There's Reed and I.
Oh, yeah.
And this is coming out, and it was nice coming out because it just started to rain a little bit.
Off a little bit.
on the trail. And that was nice. So I got there's me and my hat. Sally gave me that shirt once upon a time, and I cut out the sleeves to make me look like, hey, you got the show, right? And people always give me a hard time about these shorts. They're camouflage cargo shorts.
Yeah, I see them, man. What about those shoes? Are those specialized hiking shoes? Or?
They're Innovates. You can buy them from Southern Mountain Gear. Well, not that pair, because that time I had that for a couple of years. And then the brown socks. The brown socks seem to be getting more attention on the internet than the camo.
I thought your legs were just dark, man. All right, they're socks. Okay.
They match. I base everything on thickness. What do we got here? Sarita, we did Crust with Army Lynn a while ago. Auntie Bennett, Lohan Duenas is there. Keena McCausland. Good to see Greg Fausto, Mark Cruz. Inquiring minds want to know who the hell are the Momos who claim Lou win the debate. Well, here's the problem. Is there was no Felix Camacho on the other side to claim victory, and Mike St. Nicholas was busy being the classy gentleman, saying what a great opponent she was, and how pleased he was to be able to be in the debate with her. He's like I said, it was just too classy. Patting both of them on the back. It was, and I told you, it was somebody was going to come out and claim victory, and absent anybody else making that noise, they did. appreciated. Carl Meyer online says good morning and happy birthday to the United States Merchant Marines. June 12, 1775, from the APL, Herodot, cruising down the Northern Islands. Patty Cruz and Bill Fritton are hanging out with us this morning. Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan, buenos
Viva.
holiday to you there. Colin Clark, tomorrow, cha-cha, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Amen, bud. Wake up, Guam, speed kills. I got Joy Unpinko, William John Shadowin. Still Sunday here, giving the USFL a watch while listening. That's the new little football league they got there?
Yeah.
I haven't watched an episode. I walked into Carabao yesterday and was looking for something live, and all they had was hockey. And even though I watched all of the episodes of Shoresy, I'm still not into it. It's still not that big a deal to me. I got Lydia D. Tenorio, let's see, Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities hanging out. Gina Sinicolas and Stephen Applegate watching the show. That's my buddy Stephen. It's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, Steve, morning.
I got let me see, Armando Dominguez, Mark Voigtland checking in again from the Free Zone. Joseph Ngoko is there. To Rico and Sarita and all of the other Filipinos. Happy Philippine Independence Day. There we go.
Mabuhay.
I got Joe Ngoko there, Jane Nauta, Anna Marie. You know us fast hikers well, Real Joe. Edwin Dito Bandit is there. Margaret Estacchio, Pat Saho. I got Kishan Marie. I always right-click on her. Don't you?
Yeah.
Just look at what's the ball cap. Women in ball caps. Hard to resist.
I don't do it.
Sarita says ground beef out of stock at the Tamuning cost you less and Oka pay less last night. Don't scare me now. Joe Takai.
You could
Luke,
ground your own beef.
Yeah. Yes,
Grind your own beef.
it's true. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I got one of those
Ground
grinders.
it.
I got one
The
of those
one that
grinders.
you go like this, or is it an electric one?
No, it's the crank.
Old-fashioned.
Very
Wow.
old-fashioned one. So you take the meat
You
in
can
there.
get prime beef, stick it in there, and then you have these
So what I do
Angus burgers.
when I make my the hamburger, the Japanese style, I'll take the pork and run it through, and then I'll take the ground beef and run it through, and then I combine them and run them through together and totally mix the thing up on the inside. So that I think helps meld the flavors together one way or the other. All right, so we got we'll follow up on that. Luke S. and Angel, JB Sinicolas, and Harvey Egna, support socks. They're not sports.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
walking into boonies here. I wanted to wear shorts. Somebody's gonna say, but Reed's not wearing socks. You know why? Because he hikes so much. He's just there.
Yeah.
He's already got it's already blistered up. So it's like tree legs or something like that. Jay Rojas is on with us.
Happy birthday.
Hey, mahalos.
Happy birthday to you, Noram. Garcia Tabs is there. I got Heather Perez. Good morning, Heather, and Mike Grace Bloss, et cetera, hanging out with us. Going to be a big crowd here. Already a growing crowd on the YouTube side. We'll check in with those bad boys before too much longer. In the meantime, items in the table of contents. There might be one or two things going. Anybody seen the report on the inflation? This is good. They asked people, what the consumer expectations were for inflation. It's like 5.4, and then the actual numbers. 8.2 came out over the weekend, and everybody kind of losing their mind. So if it's available, then it's probably going to be priced higher than you want it to be. And I don't know what the answer is. They're trying to cool off the economy at the Fed by raising the interest rates, making money a little bit harder to get your hands on. And they say that there might be a natural slowing of the pace as people realize where things are headed and pocket as much more money as possible. Just save as much money as you can. Any non-fuel purchases and big expenses and big ticket items, people are just holding off on that for as long as possible, and that may have a cooling effect on the inflation. But that, they say, is just going to get us to recession even faster. And I don't know, inflation, recession, the economists they mean different things. But as far as I'm concerned, it means that the prices are still going to be up, and it doesn't matter how much money you're making these days. It just ain't going to be enough at the end of the month. 6:35 on the Ray Gibson Show. As I said, lots to get to on the table of contents. And if you need, what is it, a primer, if you need an idea of what it is that people are going to be talking about today, here's Mana Silva Tyrant with a first look at news and headlines. Alva Mana, what happened last night?
Well, north and southbound traffic this morning is closed as emergency officials respond to what is said to be a fatal accident that took place near Route 8's Palomo store. That's over by the subway. We are told that a vehicle may have flipped over and crashed into a utility pole. Motorists are being asked to take an alternate route as emergency officials respond to the scene. It took place about 5 o'clock this morning. Meanwhile, full details have yet to be released regarding a fatal crash that took place along Marine Corps Drive on Friday morning just before noon. A man who was driving a Jamaican Grill van crashed into a utility pole in front of Vince Jewelry. The driver of that vehicle was a lone occupant. He did pass away. Police continue their investigation into that crash. And a man accused of abusing 3 children faces additional criminal charges after a teenage girl alleged that he molested her for the last 10 years. 45-year-old Greg Romalor was charged with criminal sexual conduct. The latest alleged incident is said to have taken place in August of 2021. Romalor denied the allegations. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Cousin Troy retweeting a tweet from, or resending a PSA mention from Berlin Savella from the Guam Police Department. Road closure, Route 8 between SK Laundry and Jackson Street in Barragata. Highway Patrol is investigating a serious traffic crash. Expect to be rerouted and traffic delays. Westbound traffic is open. Eastbound traffic is being redirected through Jackson Street. All right, here's the problem that I have. East, west, north, south. Nobody goes east or west on Guam.
Use
we
your
go
compass.
northbound. Okay, so I'm assuming that eastbound is northerly. Is that right? No, it's going westbound. Westbound is open. That's what I'm seeing past McDonald's on the map here. And eastbound traffic is being redirected through Jackson Street. So that's the way you're going to be making your way around that area until police are done with their investigation on the scene. 6:38 on the Ray Gibson Show.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
When one of my family members needs to be seen by a medical provider for an illness or injury that's not life-threatening but still requires immediate medical care, I go to the FHP Health Center Urgent Care. With convenient hours, no appointment needed, and medical providers I trust, I know my loved ones are receiving quality medical care. I trust the FHP Health Center Urgent Care. You can too. For more information, go to www.fhpguam.com. FHP Health Center, the island's only truly dedicated urgent care.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
888-8255-888-TALK. If you've got pictures, imagery of anything happening on the roadways, or just some fun pictures you want to share, use 797-8255. 797-8255 on screen right now. This is what Route 8 is looking like, at least bird's eye view from our position here, and you can see where traffic southbound traffic seems to be moving all right past that area, and northbound traffic, you can see that the greens on the side means traffic is moving, and you got that yellow on the inside. That means traffic is not moving. Expect traffic delays on Route 8 or being rerouted onto Jackson Street for your own safety as the police are continuing their investigation. Don't know if there's any other traffic that we need to tell you about. Don't see a lot happening up at Anderson Air Force Base. Hey, did you see where they got a new general? They got a new general up at Anderson Air Force Base. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a real-life inspiration for Rambo.
Oh.
Except the Air Force version of the real-life inspiration of Rambo.
He's a killer?
Maybe more on that a little bit later. First blood, bud. First blood. We got traffic on Route 10 and 16. So, yeah, that is 10 and 16 right now. A little bit of traffic through there. And nothing major on 10 all the way into the Mangilau area. 4 and 10 looking good. 4 into town. Not bad at all. And then we get into a little bit of traffic, light traffic in Sumai and down into that area. Looks like we might have a little bit of traffic over by Polaris Point, but that's about it. 641, there is your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
Everything going up. Like I said, if you can find it, it's getting more expensive. On base right now, are you ready for the new number at the Autoport, Mana?
$4.95.
Yep, 494.9.
I bought some of that expensive stuff. Yeah.
Is what they're going for on base. Mid-grade at $439.9 or $540 and $571 for premium. Those are the new numbers. Thank you, Colin Clark, for fetching the data and getting it to us. And then this conversation I've been with my buddy Steve, and they've got access to the base and they can do some privileged buying, and that is to say if there's anything to buy. And I got all these pictures, and I thought, wow, this is kind of amazing. Look, my grocery experience these days is going up to Payless, and I was remarking to friends, in the last couple of days, the last time I went up to Payless, pricey to be sure, but everything that I was looking for, they had. It would surprise the hell out of me if I walked into a Payless and saw the freezer section as empty as this. Take a look at that.
That's scary, man.
That is scary. That is. Yeah. Can you imagine? Like an E4? And you got to have a car so you can get around here, living on base, and money's tight, in those lower grades, and it's not like you can just get in a car and drive over to Cost You Less and run up to the nearest Payless out in Sumai. You got this is how we're going to stretch our food budgets by shopping on base. But what happens when there's nothing there? I mean, somebody's wiped out. Somebody, I'm told that the greatest, the item that is in highest demand there is like chicken nuggets. I don't know what it is. There's something about like base chicken nuggets.
Well, they have the dinosaur-shaped ones.
Dinosaur-shaped chicken.
Nuggets. The nuggets are always out because I'm always looking for nuggets.
But like the little kids like dinosaur. Little kids like nuggets, period.
So I think they were already having shipping delays, but whenever you have an exercise or a ship in town, it also adds to the problem of stocking the shelves. So that may have just
But like the dog food section is
Even
empty.
the dog food. I bought my dog food over at Cost You Less this week.
You don't think people are eating dog food, do you? You don't think they're that desperate here, and I couldn't find dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Food.
It's good.
Like it?
My favorite ones are the ones that taste different than the bag. But these are pictures that I got. Thanks very much. This is the bread section. It wiped out except for, what is that? The healthy bread?
That looks like Wonder Bread.
It's Wonder Bread.
Nobody likes Wonder Bread.
Don't like that
it's
one
enriched,
so much.
Ray.
It must be the additives.
Helps kids grow 12 different ways. There we go. Man, that's the source of it. It gave kids 12 different genders. Anyway, 6:45 in the morning, and I hope that this is just one kind of a rarity and not the new normal for folks on base, because frankly that's where I get some of my favorite beer and food from. 6:45 888-8255 TALK. Who's on two?
The judge.
The judge. His Honor
Wisdom.
Mustache Wisdom. Judge Bob Klitsky will be on the radio this afternoon at 4:00, and then among the items that he may talk about, if he has not already talked about it, is an amicus brief that was filed in the courts recently, and it looks like the government of Guam is not happy about him being so friendly with the court, and in particular the points that he is making about the kind of wishy-washy case that Levin Camacho has brought. This is not going to be the first time I mention his name this morning. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ray.
Welcome to the program, and I can hardly wait to hear more about this on your show later. But page 7 in today's Guam Daily Post, Governor's Office opposes Klitsky amicus motion in the case seeking clarity on quarantine agreements. I didn't realize that the case was seeking clarity on quarantine agreements. I thought it was just supposed to look like here we're at the Attorney General's office, and BJ Cruz thinks we're supposed to do something, so let's put together some paperwork that makes it look like we're working.
Well, it's even a little bit more sinister than that. It's let's put together some paperwork that will make it look like the governor didn't do anything wrong when she sent her consigliere over to cut a deal for the 19th floor with a company that had a $38 million outstanding overdue mortgage with the family bank.
Looks hinky to me, kind of sketch.
Yeah, so that's what BJ said. And BJ's audit report laid it out very clearly that the governor and her consigliere had violated almost every law except gravity. So, we're figuring, well, the Attorney General is going to come back here. There'll be at least a civil suit to recover some money. And if there's criminal liability, there's a prosecution division at the AG's office. So the Attorney General filed suit. I'm figuring, all right, good. That's what attorneys general do. But his suit doesn't zero in on the issue that BJ identified. He zeroes in on 4 contracts for which BJ had no problem in his audit report. So he attempts to sue 4 contracts. And he asks for a declaratory judgment that the governor didn't do anything wrong in procuring those contracts. So it's sort of like a police officer coming along, taking someone into court and telling the judge, this gentleman waited until the red light went on from the opposite direction, the walk sign came on, and then he walked across the crosswalk. So I'm here because he has a traffic ticket, but I want you to rule that he has done nothing wrong.
There are other...
Just a travesty. There was no defendant, and there was no issue.
Now the governor's office, apparently, as I'm reading the article, kind of makes it sound like your participation in the amicus curiae is redundant. The governor's attorneys argued that the parties in the case are completely represented and that Klitsky cannot offer anything beyond arguments the parties' lawyers could provide.
Well, the thing is that there aren't any parties in the case because suing the government's interest in 4 legitimate contracts means you're short a defendant. So
right.
Ordinarily, the issues that my motion to file an amicus brief, the issues that it raises would be raised by a defendant in a real case, but there's no defendant. No real defendant.
It's the contracts, though. Would not somebody from the governor's office need to come in and defend the nature of those contracts based on the public health emergency?
Only if there's an adversary proceeding, and there's no adversary proceeding because there's no issue before the court. The Attorney General is saying, look at these 4 contracts. The governor did everything right, and then we want you just to come back and rule in my favor that the government did everything right. That's not what the court is for. They use the word declaratory judgment as though it has a particular meaning, but declaratory judgments ordinarily keep close company with injunctive relief. So in order to get a declaratory judgment, there has to be a real case or controversy, and there has to be 2 real parties, at the very minimum, a defendant and a plaintiff.
So it says oral arguments on the motion are scheduled for June 28th. And what will the judge attempt to conclude in this case?
Well, here's the range of possible decisions that I would advance as within the judge's realm of authority.
Yeah.
The judge could look at the whole thing and he'd say, I'm not going to hear this motion. I'm dismissing sua sponte, meaning on my own motion, because there's no defendant here and there's no issue. And unless there's a case or controversy, this stack of papers doesn't belong in my court. That would be on the one end. On the other end, the judge could say, I'm going to deny the motion and allow the case to go forward. But of course, there's no real case to go forward. I hypothesized when this whole thing came up, why would the Attorney General do such a thing? Why would the Attorney General see it in his interest to file papers with the court defending what the governor had done in the face of BJ's accusation? And the best hypothesis that I could come up with is that the Attorney General saw it in his interest to provide cover for the governor so that when we get into the thick of the campaign and Republicans come along and say, hey, you remember that time you had a concierge working for you, your son-in-law, who used to work at the Bank of Guam, then came to work for you, and instead of going through the procurement process, you sent him to the Pacific Star to cut this $38 million lease, and the public auditor said you violated all these procurement. Remember that, Governor? The governor would be able to come back and say, well, the Attorney General said I didn't do anything wrong, so
and we took it to court.
Complain?
And we took it to court.
Yeah, he took it to court, not they. The governor is the governor.
But it doesn't feel like that in the conversation. It sounds like they're washing each other's hands.
Exactly.
So at the end of all of this, we could say, well, it was in the court, and the court ruled, as you point out, the judge may dismiss this, and they would find quarter there, I think.
Even if the judge allows the case to go forward, the governor can still use the papers that the Attorney General filed basically in her own defense, causing you once again to say, what the heck kind of a lawsuit is this? Exactly.
But now the other party in the case that's not in the case seems to me is the OPA. Where's BJ Cruz has come out, did the report, did the public auditor's report and review on all of this, found these hinky findings, and said somebody needs to look into this. What is there an avenue that the public auditor can take to drive home the point that at least $2.5 million worth of these contracts were illegitimate?
His only avenue is to refer the matter to the Attorney General.
What's a statute of limitations on something like this? The guy that is representing you in this case is named Doug Moylan, and my understanding is that Doug Moylan wants to be the Attorney General again. Is this something that, Levin took a swing at it, nothing happens. Is this something that a new Attorney General could go after down the road? Or does it die with the administration if the administration dies?
No, the case will continue, will have a life of its own until there's a judicial disposition of it. And Doug has said that he's interested in running. I'm encouraging him, not because of this case, but we deserve an Attorney General who's going to do something other than play the games that this one is playing. But if Doug were to run and be elected Attorney General, with respect to this case, of course, he'd have to build what we used to call a Chinese wall between himself and his office. You can't call it that anymore, political correctness.
Oh, throw that in with the pile like with midgets. You can't call them midgets anymore. 6:55 in the morning. Your Honor, I appreciate your being a friend of the court, and I appreciate you being a friend of the radio station. We'll talk again, and I'll be listening for you at 4.
Okay, Ray, good talking to you.
All right, hugging a kiss to Anthony Lou. 888-825-5888-TALK. Got a couple of minutes for the other Governor Leon Guerrero, Ken Leon Guerrero, who's actually filed his papers over the weekend, Friday, I guess it was, over at the Election Commission. Congratulations, candidate Ken Leon Guerrero.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the swiftness with which the current administration was able to dispatch voters left, right, and center, my 381 signatures required me to go back out and get another 40 because out of the 381, I had almost 170 invalidated.
What?
Because they were no longer registered.
Oh, people get yourself registered. Might not know that they're unregistered.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes back to one of the first laws I'm going to introduce is to do away with that stupid requirement and make our voter system an opt-out. Once you register, you're registered until you unregister or leave the vicinity. But the reason I called in is I didn't know the judge was going to call in, but that was really interesting what he had to say, because I'm going through the same process myself in the Supreme Court, where the administration of Lou Leon Guerrero is trying to say that, when we passed the Guam Regional Corporate Welfare Act, we did it with the best of intentions, and never mind the fact it's cost taxpayers about $30 million. We don't have to respond to taxpayers. We're not accountable to taxpayers. And so they're fighting in the Supreme Court to make it impossible for taxpayers to hold the government accountable. And your conversation with the judge just drove home the importance of the voter initiative processes, number 5 and 6, which number 5 is to create a separate office of prosecutor, because the biggest problem we have with the AG's office as structured and his whole comment about the Chinese firewall is the AG represents government of Guam. And every time I've tried to bring something to the AG's office, they say, "Oh, you're going to have to get private counsel. We're going to be defending the government on this. We can't accept these complaints." No,
I like the other kind of attorney general's office where we work for the taxpayers. That's what we work for. We represent people of Guam.
Yeah, if we'd elected an attorney general that had that mindset, it would have been fine. But the only way we as taxpayers can be guaranteed that we'll get our own versions of Jack McCoy is to separate the office of prosecutor from attorney general. And then the sole reason a prosecutor exists is so he can go back to the voters and say, here are the people that the police arrested, that I prosecuted. Here's all the white-collar crime that was reported to our office that we prosecuted. And that's why voter initiative number 6 is to give the Office of Public Accountability the ability to bring legal actions itself without having to refer to the Attorney General's office, which is obviously in conflict with anything that the public auditor would do.
Well, maybe if we're lucky, maybe we might get strike a couple of home runs, and we find an attorney general candidate that has got coconuts that's going to go after all of these low-level thugs that we've got around here, and prosecutors that will likewise. They will encourage each other to clean up the streets that we've got here. Yesterday's Guam Daily Post, page 2: man with machete allegedly attacks a bystander at a park. This is the Dededo Skate Park, ladies and gentlemen, which seems to me to be Grand Central Station, ground zero for the thuggery that we've got around here. Some homeless guy running around with a knife and a 10-inch machete, and actually used it on somebody. And thankfully, the guy has been arrested. They caught him. But just another example of how we've got random and rampant crime in this town, and nobody seems to be lifting a finger to help the police department catch these guys and put them away. Hey, listen, I got a breakaway. We've got Fox News Live coming up. Candidate Ken Leon Guerrero, so you have to go and earn media before I can randomly stick you on the radio, okay?
Will do.
All right, man. I'll talk to you pretty soon. When I say earn media, I don't mean go and attack people with a machete over at the Dededo Skate Park. What the heck is going on around here? Stand by now. Fox News Live in just seconds. On the other side of that, Montecillo Tyrant's going to have a look at all the big news and headlines. Jerry Roberts coming in with the Monday Extra Point. It's all ahead right here. 93.3 KUSG. I got you. This is The Point.
More evidence to follow. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. That's what one of 2 Republicans on the January 6th committee says as hearings continue this week. Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger tells CBS's Face the Nation more will be revealed in the hearings.
We're not going to make accusations or say things without proof or evidence backing it.
The panel has garnered criticism for barring some Republicans from being on the committee, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says they would have damaged the panel's integrity. Senate negotiators agree on a bipartisan framework for new gun control measures, including expanded background checks for gun buyers under age 21.
Connecticut's Democratic Governor Ned Lamont said on ABC's This Week, 10 years after Sandy Hook laws passed there, such as mandatory background checks and a dangerous weapons registry, have protected people.
Nobody has taken away your guns. You're still hunting, doing that safely. You got to understand that we can get the right balance.
In Arkansas, Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson said on Fox News Sunday he wouldn't raise the age to buy a long gun.
I believe that somebody that's 18 ought to be able to go out there and shoot ducks with a long gun and to be able to purchase that.
Senate discussions centered on mental health and red flag laws.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The CDC is dropping the COVID-19 testing requirement for travelers entering the U.S.
Folks can now fly into the U.S. without first showing proof of a negative COVID-19 test. The CDC saying the requirement is no longer necessary. It says largely thanks to access to COVID-19 vaccines and therapeutics helping to lower Americans' risk of death. Airline and tourism groups are applauding the move after months of pleading with the Biden administration to end the testing requirement.
Fox's Charles Watson at Atlanta International Airport. America is listening to Fox News.
As part of our ongoing commitment to keeping you connected, GTA is proud to participate in the Affordable Connectivity Program. The Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP, provides eligible households with a $30 credit toward internet or mobile services. And now, if you qualify for ACP, you can get internet for as low as $28 a month. We're making it simple for both new and existing customers to apply this credit toward GTA internet and mobile services. To see if you qualify, visit gta.net. GTA, we start with you.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
Yes. A couple House incumbents are trying to keep re-election hopes alive this week.
Two House Republicans in South Carolina are trying to fend off challengers endorsed by former President Trump. Nancy Mace and Tom Rice both criticized the former president in the aftermath of the January 6th Capitol riot. Rice was one of 10 Republicans who voted for impeachment. Any candidate will need to secure more than 50% of the vote to avoid a runoff. Voters in Nevada also head to the polls Tuesday, with Republican Adam Laxalt poised to win his party's nomination to take on Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto in a race expected to be key in control of the Senate. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Authorities arrested 31 suspected members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front near an Idaho Pride event yesterday. Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White.
It is clear to us, based on the gear that the individuals had all with them, the stuff they had in the possession, and the U-Haul with them, along with paperwork that was seized from them, that they came to riot downtown.
The group was made up of people from at least 11 states. Police are not saying whether they found any firearms. The 75th Annual Tony Awards are tonight.
Broadway's biggest night is set for this evening, celebrating the show going on even in a pandemic. Ariana DeBose is hosting, and presenters include Andrew Garfield, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Nathan Lane. Michael R. Jackson's Pulitzer Prize-winning musical A Strange Loop is up for 11 Tonys, including Best Musical, while the Lehman Trilogy has 8 nominations, including Best Play. Company leads the revival musical pack with 9 nods. 5-time Tony winner Angela Lansbury will be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. You can watch the Tony Awards live this evening on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus starting at 8 o'clock Eastern. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh does it again, bringing back a classic fan favorite on the menu. The roast beef returns. And not just any roast beef, it's choice Angus roast beef, flavorful and satisfying on its own, or layered with oven roasted turkey and Black Forest ham in the Subway Club. Whether you're a choice Angus Angus roast beef purist or like the variety of the Subway Club, both come piled high on hearty multi-grain bread with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Get your fill of the new roast beef at Subway. Eat fresh.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Are you looking for job opportunities? That's perfect. Taiho is a company based in Korea that provides opportunities for people to work at production sites in the United States. They offer a wide variety of jobs that may suit you. Come and check it out. For more information, visit www.gotomainland.com or go to their office at the old iConnect building or call 671-648-9788. What are you waiting for? Go grab that opportunity and fly out to the mainland.
Off a day at 7:06. I'm Montesova Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. This from the Guam Daily Post just now. A man is dead following a serious car crash that took place in Barragata early this morning. It happened just about 5 o'clock this morning near SK Laundry and Jackson Street. A red Nissan Xterra was seen at the scene, flipped on its side after the driver apparently ran off the road and hit a concrete utility pole. Medics performed CPR on the man as he was rushed to Naval Hospital. The driver was the only occupant inside the car. He has yet to be identified. Meanwhile, police continue their investigation into a serious car crash. It was a fatal crash that took place early Friday. Along Marine Corps Drive in front of the mobile gas station in Vince Jewelry. The driver of a Jamaican Grill van ran into a utility pole. The man's aunt told the Guam Daily Post that she was gassing at the mobile service station when she witnessed the crash. The man was the lone occupant in that vehicle and was also pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, a 36-year-old man who allegedly attacked someone at a Dedero skate park now faces 2 counts of aggravated assault and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. It was just last week an individual reported to police that he was attacked by a homeless man armed with a machete while at the park. The man identified himself to police as Martin Robin. We'll have more news right after this.
Celebrating the graduating class of 2022, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in June, visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, I love the Whopper. And you'll get a free flame grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with french fries and onion rings and refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your family and friends and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday in June. Available at BK Hagatnya, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Congratulations to the class of 2022 from your friends at Burger King. Be your way.
The PDN reports there's a temporary pause in the acceptance of new emergency rental assistance program applications. Effective today, that pause is going into effect. According to a news release from the governor's office, the pause is so officials can process existing applications. Nearly 4,000 households, they say, have experienced financial difficulty as a result of COVID-19 pandemic and have received $15.9 million in relief funds through this assistance program. Pre-eligible applicants who've already undergone the process for rental assistance may still submit required documents to the Emergency Rental Assistance Program Office, and that's at the ITC building. They also say that those who already have participated in the program can apply for additional assistance by submitting a continuance of assistance request form with the Department of Administration. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program will close on September 30th. And the gas prices continue to inch up, and while it appears little is being done to stave off the rising costs, the Speaker of the Legislature says that she's going to continue to push for permanent relief. Speaker Therese Terlahi, in a release that was sent out this morning, says the committee report for her bill 261 was routed to committee members last week, and the bill is just a short 2 votes to go on to the session event to be eligible for the session agenda. The release calls out members who have not voted on the measure's advancement, raising questions as well over another similar bill that has already been heard in a public hearing and put out by the Appropriations Chair. The Speaker is urging the committee chair to make any amendments necessary and report out Bill 261. She hopes to have it on the session agenda, which is scheduled for June 28th. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
And what's 261 do again?
It does away with the liquid fuel tax
tax
altogether. Yeah, permanent.
So they couldn't get it out of committee because there's a couple of people that didn't vote for it or wouldn't support it to get
I
out?
think they were waiting for the committee report to be finished, and now it's being routed for signatures because it's got to get, I think, 8 or 10 signatures in order to be placed on the agenda. I think it's 8 signatures.
I'm flabbergasted that there doesn't seem to be any urgency to help the people. That would be all of the people, everybody in the public sector, private sector, people that work in the wholesale companies, people who work in the government of Guam. Everybody will benefit from the liquidation of the liquid fuels tax. I don't understand why it seems to be taking them so long.
Yeah, and the question she's raising is there's a similar bill that was introduced by the appropriations chair that would do a 6-month pause on that liquid fuel tax.
So why is it good for 6 months but not permanently?
That's the question she's
You know,
raising.
it's affordable, Ray. I'm approachable.
Approachable. I hear you. Approachable, Joe. It's 7:11 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Just amazing. All right, here we go with the weather here today. I'm looking forward to a little less sunshine today. We've got some clouds up in the sky that I might be able to put up on the screen that you can see that might be bringing some cooling rains and some overcast skies to help cool the house down. If it does, they say it'll happen before 10. Mostly cloudy later. Highs near 89 degrees. Feel like 94. That's the heat index at work. East winds 9 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Isolated showers in the forecast for tomorrow under partly sunny skies. Daytime highs 89 degrees, and we've got isolated showers tomorrow night. Sunrise this morning was at 5:53, and if you imagine that Jeff from Pirates Cove was up and sending pictures to the radio station, you're absolutely right. He was up early this morning making sure that somebody was documenting sunrise. All your screens are ready for this. Boom. Right there. Ooh, ow, look at that sunrise on the eastern side of the island. And it looks like it's going to set the stage for just a fantastic day. Great clouds up in the sky for sunset last night. I don't know if anybody caught those pictures. I might throw one or two up on the screen from my own camera. Sunset tonight, by the way, will be at 6:48. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on The Point.
Hafide Guam, this is Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Our teams at Public Health and GITA are rolling out several new programs to make childcare more affordable for working families while supporting childcare providers and growing jobs. Programa ni Pinila ni Famaguan Guahan launched on April 5th, and we've expanded eligibility so thousands more families now qualify. Please visit guamchildcare.com to learn more about these programs and apply for relief today.
This ad is paid for with federal funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hafide Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hafide Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
7:13, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local Heridote home. Absolutely. 7:13, Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by the guys over at Nissan. You know, it's officially summer when the guys over at Nissan come out and say it's officially summer. And we've got the official summer sweet deal for you. You can enjoy 0 down payments. Hello, do you have any money for a down payment? You got your 20%. You don't need it. You don't need it. Brian and the guys over there. So we're gonna let you in here. 0 down payment, super easy financing at 1.99% APR. Some of the cheapest loans that you're going to get, and that's moving opposite from where other people are doing it, where the loans are actually getting more expensive. The money is getting more expensive to get into your hands, so you can buy yourself a new car. Swing by and check out this summer sales event. And what do I want you to be looking out for? I'm a truck guy, and they've got a couple of America's favorite trucks there. The Nissan Titan and the all-new, from the ground up, redesigned Frontier. Again, 0 down, easy financing, and 1.99% APR. Welcome from Nissan to the summer of 2022.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
after 7 o'clock in the morning, and you might have heard one of the ads in the mix in the last couple of minutes. There's an outfit called Taiho, our next door neighbors. They didn't have to go very far to cut the ads here, and their gig. You can find this in the back of I want to say in all of the newspapers, but their gig here is they want to hire people on Guam for jobs off island. And you might be asking, well, what kind of job is that, Raymond? And the answer is, I don't know. I'm going to go next door and talk to these guys and find out what kind of jobs that they've got there. You know, because we talk about this, unfortunately, a lot more these days, and that is the idea that things aren't turning around as quickly as we'd like them to. I know Jerry Paris and Carl T.C. Gutierrez are working their butts off, and the folks over at the Guam Visitors Bureau to get as many heinies and airplane chairs to come out to Guam. And it's been delightful. You know, as I'm at the beach yesterday and on Friday, clocking the flights coming back in, it almost feels like it did in 2019, where you get into a kind of a drive time, late afternoon situation, and there's nothing but plane after plane after plane landing at the Guam International Airport. Now, don't be confused. There is a JAL training flight that goes on, but these weren't JAL airplanes. It was nice to see a bunch of the budget carriers and Korean Airlines itself flying out to Guam, but are the numbers coming back? Everybody's reporting that they're seeing more tourists out there, and they absolutely are. They absolutely are. The FITs are getting rent-a-cars and bicycles and getting out of Tumon and cruising around. But is that going to bring the pre-COVID economy back as quickly as possible? And some people are betting with their wallets and their feet that is not. And there's, like I said, an entire company. That's all they do there is set up shop so that they can recruit for people from Guam to go and work in the States. So yeah, is it that bad out here? Maybe. People concerned about access to health care, education, and making their hard-earned dollar move just a little bit further. Let me see. Colin Clark online. Tony Uggan, is all this lack of prosecution, keep talking about that, going to lead to a vigilante mentality? I would not be surprised if people start going out to police their own neighborhoods. The neighborhood watch programs are limited just to police response. So let me see if I got this right there, Tony. You want to be able to go out and see a bad guy doing something awful in a neighborhood and just smack at him yourself. Just citizen's arrest after I make you stop doing whatever it is that you're doing that's making me crazy. Punishment. We don't need probable cause around here. I see that guy walking around. I don't like him walking around my neighborhood. So either get out of here or we're going to take justice into our own hands. I know there are people that are talking. I usually bring it up by way of being the funny guy on the radio, but I don't know. I think there might be a few more people out there that don't want to just be a part of their neighborhood watch program. They want to become their own neighborhood police department and have their own little homegrown criminal justice system. And we'll get with soon-to-be Senator John Ananich on that a little bit later on. Ruel Drillion is hanging out. Bertha Maza Cruz. I see Harvey Egna online. The senator is elected to act in the best interest of the people. Any senator who is holding up the elimination of the fuel tax is not acting in the best interest of the public and needs to be removed in November. No, don't remove them in November. We got a primary election coming up. A great opportunity and a great vehicle to be able to express your dissatisfaction, as it were, with the guys in certainly the legislature, ADLOOP, Attorney General's office. It's time to start sending signals. Let me see. 7:18. We'll take a look at what happened on the markets over the weekend. Did you? S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones Industrial Average have responded negatively to the creeping and increasingly concerning numbers on consumer prices in the United States. S&P 500 at 3,900. They lost 116 points. NASDAQ off by 414. They closed at 11,340. You know, there's a lot of tech in the NASDAQ, and people lose their appetite to buy cool little technical doodads when the price of food is going up and the price of fuel is going up. Dow Jones Industrial Average sunk 880 points in the red, 31,392. The FTSE is off by 158. Nikkei down 422 points. They're trading at around 27,824. Hang Seng down. Shanghai Index is up as the city begins to open up a little bit more. The VIX is up by almost 2, and the DAX off by 436. A significant blood loss, if you will, on the markets. Big losers, winners on the NASDAQ. There were Pinduoduo, NetEase, Kraft Heinz, JD.com, and American Electric are the big winners. At the bottom, DocuSign, Illumina, Adobe Inc., Bookings Holdings, and Mercado Libre. We're at the bottom of the NASDAQ. We take a look at commodities here. Got oil at $120.67. Do I hear 130? Do I hear anybody? 140? Can I get 140 for a barrel of oil? Is it headed in that direction? We've got gold at 1,875, and Real Joe's going to hit me up with a Bitcoin number.
Oh, it's 27,387. It's down.
It sounds like it's down from where it was the last time I was looking at it.
26,000 and some.
What's that?
It's actually 26,000 and some.
Oh, pardon.
Any reason that anybody can think of? Is it Let's Go Brandon or something like that?
No.
Is that having an impact?
Actually, I was looking at something yesterday that discussed stocks and how it related to crypto and inflation and the whole thing. And they say that in the cycle that we're in, we can expect in the next 6 months or so that crypto, particularly, and other investments are going to tank to maybe another 15, 20, 30%, and which takes it down to panic level. And then they think that that's about when it'll turn around. The Fed is going to have to change some policies. We're heading for a recession, et cetera. But, however, they say maybe 6 months or a year out that this could rebound and springboard up again. So we're going to see tougher times ahead, but there's a rainbow at the end of this.
Well, I mean, we can see tougher times right now. I showed some pictures of the food aisles at the commissary on base, virtually empty. The only thing that they've still got is like health food and vegetarian stuff.
Hey, nice.
All the good stuff, processed and manufactured
and
food.
here I am without base privileges.
It's all right. So I'll throw a number out here, and I'll try to be encouraged by it. What did I tell you that oil was trading at? $120. And we've got
which flavor is that?
How much?
West Texas?
West Texas fruit. It's $120.67. And I'm looking at the numbers today for Tapas, and I'm trying to be encouraged. It traded $132.38 Friday.
Yeah.
Now off by about, I'm going to do the math in my head here real quick, so it'll be wrong, about 45 cents. It is now $131.79. It's gone down.
And you know something?
And they didn't change the price of gas over the weekend.
I admire and I congratulate the three oil companies here for their restraint.
Incredible intestinal fortitude.
And unbelievable. Look, see, they knew. They just knew the crystal balls were out, and they knew the price was going to go down, and that it would be the wrong thing to do to increase the retail price of gasoline.
It's an interesting mix of headlines over the last few days. I was talking about the consumer price index that came out, and that sent the market into a tank mode. And the crazy thing is it's gotten worse than even the anticipation. There were some people saying, okay, well, yeah, inflation's going to be bad. 5.4%, that's where it's going to end up. And it actually zoomed up to 8.2. Actual inflation in this country is 8.2. And unfortunately, the salaries aren't keeping up.
No, I was seeing 8.6. But yeah, it's getting worse. It's not the number the government's putting out there. That's for sure.
No. Oh, yeah. There's the same thing with the unemployment figures and things like that. I always take that with a grain of salt. And they're saying 8.2. But I've got other graphs that I'll see if I can find them while you're doing the extra point. I've got other graphs that show just the maddening increase in fuel, oil, gasoline prices across the country.
Yeah,
in all of these buckets that they use to determine just how bad it is for everybody. And like I said, we see the increase around here, and it sure doesn't feel like 8.2 or 8.6%.
No, not at all. You mentioned the extra point.
Yeah,
we may or may not be able to do this before the news, but I want to promote Thursday's extra point. Before we get to today's.
A very special extra point.
I don't know if that's special or not, but we're going to go into a topic that I think we need to. If you have Netflix, which represents probably 80% of the people in Guam have access to Netflix, one way or the other. There's a program there, and it's called The Social Dilemma. I watched it yesterday. The Social Dilemma. Now, I want you to watch it because it will explain the dangers, the threat of social media in a way you've never seen before. People yell about social media and they complain about Zuckerberg and they use all kinds of terminology with it. You've got to watch this program because you've got people on here who understand the guts of the social media, what the algorithms do, how they do it, and why they do it. This I just don't want to. I'll go into it on Thursday. I'm going to give you 3 days to watch that program and watch it with your kids. I told my son, I'll give you $20. Watch the program. Turned out he'd watched it already. Yeah, I'll give Joe $20.
Thank you.
He put his hand up.
I'm in.
I said, I'll pay you to watch this. It turns out he'd already watched it, so I'll still give him the $20. Get your kid in the room and watch this program. The Social Dilemma.
It's
on
out?
Netflix.
Does it point out how they manipulate using the algorithms?
Absolutely.
Personalizing the service for you?
But the reasoning behind it is the key. When you got to get in, lasts about 90 minutes, and about an hour into it, they start really peeling back the onion and talk. And these are guys who've been in the business. These are guys who have done this for a living. In some case, I think it's the founder of Pinterest was involved in this, and he's talking about what he has seen. And I mean, when you get into this thing and you start looking at the reasoning behind it, it is not because Zuckerberg wants to tie up with the federal government and own the world. No, Zuckerberg should own the world on his own, never mind the federal government. The idea behind this is so sinister, but it is so steeped in the reality of capitalism.
Does it surprise you that it's on Netflix? Does it surprise you that
a little bit
that they would put something like that up there?
But it's in the documentary section.
7:20.
And how many people go there?
7:26 in the morning. A good plug for Netflix and that program, and I think I will watch that, so we can be ready for it. All right, time now for the Extra Point, being brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Here,
I want to talk about pain today. It's a topic that almost all of us wish to avoid at all costs. We don't want pain in general, and that can cost us big in the long run. I'll explain next on the Extra Point.
Fly to new experiences with 3 times United miles with First Hawaiian Bank's United credit card. Earn 3 times per dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels until February 28th, 2023, and 2 times miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Have you ever heard the statement, the pain of sacrifice is temporary, the pain of regret is forever? I don't recall who said it to me first, but I know it didn't mean as much until years later when I read a study done on senior citizens who were evaluating their lives. There were some regrets over the choices they had made, relationships that had gone wrong and a lot of that. However, far and away, the most significant regrets were not the choices they made, but instead the choices they never made. The jobs they didn't try for, the projects they didn't attempt, the businesses they never opened, the girl or guy they never asked out for a date, the trips they never took. In short, the opportunities in life they backed away from and never went after. I've since watched documentaries on the same subject, and you can see the visible pain in the eyes of those who are once again reliving their mistake, of reaching a fork in their road and taking the safe path, the regular path, the easy one, reliving the regret, now coupled with the realization that there's no time for a do-over. That regret will never go away. Is being a manager hard? Yes, it is. Is starting a business and making it successful hard? Yes, it is. Travel, that's expensive. Asking somebody out on a date, well, it's risky, and they might say no. Well, there is risk and cost associated with everything, and there is pain. Newsflash. People who have had great success have likely suffered much more pain and sacrifice than those who have backed away from all out going for it. Know this: the pain of giving all you've got and coming up short isn't the same as never having tried. Hey, I didn't like losing what I lost in life, but I learned from it, and it helped me later on. Some of the costs and risks are financial, some are emotional, and nobody wins them all. And that's good news, because you don't have to win them all. Life is full of challenges, both external and internal. Whatever your dream is, whatever you're after, you're going to get pushed and pulled and stepped on and backstabbed and have your heart broken. The question is, when the pain of all that is too much for others and they give up, will you still be there? Will you see obstacles as temporary or permanent? Will the pain drive you away or drive you forward? Will someone's opinions of you hold you back? Don't ever let anybody tell you what you're not capable of. Only you get to decide that. I don't know what you want to accomplish, but I do know that you're only a decision away from it. Whatever risk there is, you can face it. Whatever pain there is, you can bear it. Whatever cost there is, you can pay it. Because all of that will pale in comparison to reaching the end of your time and uttering the saddest words one can say. If only, what might have been, and coulda, woulda, shoulda. Not ready to take a huge leap in the direction of your dream? That's fine. Take a small step. Tomorrow, take another one. Every step gets you closer. What step will you take today? A lot of people have changed not only their lives, but the lives of others, and some have changed the world through commitment and steady progress. Every story is unique. What's your story going to be? That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
7:31 in the morning, and we talk about the metaverses and social media and all of those kinds of things. And a reminder now that there is very, very intense research going on in things like the development of artificial intelligence and those algorithms that you were talking about. And how good are they getting? There's a story that I woke up with this morning: the suspension of a Google engineer who claimed a computer chatbot. A chatbot. You know, you get these things on the web. It's like, yeah, there's somebody to chat with you, and you type in what your problem is, and it will push you through the system, and maybe you'll finally get the solution that you're looking for. Those things are getting smarter and smarter as we speak. But anyway, the suspension of a Google engineer who claimed a computer chatbot he was working on had become sentient and was thinking and reasoning like a human being. That has put new scrutiny on the capacity of and secrecy surrounding the world of artificial intelligence. The technology giant placed Blake Lemoine on leave last week after he published transcripts of conversations between himself, a Google collaborator, and the company's Lambda language model for dialogue applications chatbot development system. An engineer for Google's responsible AI organization described the system he was working on since last fall as sentient, with a perception of and ability to express thoughts and feelings equivalent to that of a human child. Right. If I didn't know exactly what it was with this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics. He said Lambda engaged him in conversations about rights and personhood, and Lemoine shared his feelings with the company executives in April in a Google Doc entitled, Is Lambda Sentient? The engineer compiled a transcript of conversations in which at one point he asked the AI system what it was afraid of. The exchange is eerily reminiscent of a scene from the 1968 sci-fi movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, in which the artificially intelligent computer HAL 9000 refuses to comply with human operators because it fears he's about to get switched off, which is what this chatbot is saying to this Lemoine guy.
I can hear Hal's voice, man. It's scary.
All the way through the program, right? So, well, I don't know. The one that comes to mind is Robin Williams in the Bicentennial Man, which is another great movie. I cry at the end every single time. 7:33. That's where things are headed. The intelligence now that these computer systems have are beyond any of what your mere brain is capable of pondering. I was talking last week with Real Joe about the algorithms that they've got on Instagram. And if you watch, and they play these reels on Instagram, and if you watch a reel about, a guy playing guitar, you will note that as you watch more of these reels, that there are more guys playing guitar, and every once in a while it'll be drumming, and they got the ones with the kung fu guys, and I watch those things all the way to the end, which means that as I'm watching these reels, I get more of these guys doing kung fu antics on screen.
It's not just what you watch;
it's in real time.
How long you watch it, and if you watch it a second time.
Yep.
So all these things are logged. And then they decide what they're going to feed you. And the same thing is the algorithm with Facebook. And it goes into, I'll give a little bit of what
we're Facebook and Instagram are the same.
Yeah, but the algorithms are slightly different groups.
I act differently on both of them.
You know, it might be.
Okay. But what happens is that they keep feeding you the same things. So that's confirmation bias. Okay. So here's the point. You're never wrong on social media. You are never wrong. So you keep getting these opinions thrown in your face. You don't get the other side of it. You get the side that you believe in. So you're never wrong. And therefore, you can't understand how could those other people over there think the way they do.
Right.
And the reason is because they're getting the other side of it fed to them 24/7.
It's not just confirmation bias. Bias is a confirmation bias confirmation. It's not just that. I imagine that there's a significant dopamine hit as you keep coming up with more of these things that you like, and the longer you stay there, the longer you become an evangelist for the system and buy into the ads. 7:35. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point Thursday, and we'll talk more about social media over the next couple of days. Got to jump into news and headlines with Montesilva being brought to you by we've got the Auntie Lolita Kemet over at Hoffaday Realty for all of your real estate needs. She's standing by to make your real estate needs. Even if you just want to become like a slumlord, I'll bet she's got properties she can sell you for something like that. Hoffaday Realty, get it done. And Rudy Rodolfo and his team over at Burger King. It's June, and that means that it's I Love the Whopper Wednesdays, just a couple of days out from it. But go and enjoy a Whopper today. Now with news, here's Montesilva Tyrant.
Well, police confirmed that one man is dead following a crash that took place just about 5 this morning near Palomo Store on Route 8 in Barragata. The man was driving a red Nissan Xterra that lost control, apparently flipped over and struck a utility pole. The driver was killed. He was the lone occupant, and he was taken to Naval Hospital. His name has not been released. Traffic apparently is still being affected by that crash. Meanwhile, police continue their investigation into a fatal crash that took place along Marine Corps Drive on Friday. Just before noon, the man was driving a Jamaican Grill van when he lost control and crashed into a utility pole. He was killed in that crash. And a 36-year-old man was placed under arrest after he attacked another individual at the Dededo skate park armed with a machete. He was charged with aggravated assault and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. The victim reported to police that he was attacked by a homeless man who was armed with a machete. He identified himself as Martin Robin. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Yeah, just random guys up at the Dededo skate park running around with machetes. Don't they have a police precinct right around there?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just kind of yonder up in that direction. Need some adult supervision or definitely some kind of security. 7:37 in the morning. That's Montesilva Tyrant with news. Ray Gibson Show continues after these.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's Hoffaday service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Come into GTA today and show your dad you know what's best. Just in time for Father's Day, sign up for any smartphone on HPO with our Live Unlimited plan for only $55 a month and get a $100 Home Depot e-gift card too. New customers can also enjoy a $100 port-in credit. Now that's a deal that would make any dad proud. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details or visit gta.net for more info. GTA, we start with dad.
7:38 on the Ray Gibson Show. And time to take a look at what's happening in drive time traffic. But first, let me get this picture here. Sunrise at 16,000 feet. Wow. Thanks very much. That's a tall guy. There's a really tall guy putting the camera way up, hold it up real high, and you can see something like that. I do appreciate those kinds of things. What do we got here? Let's zoom in on traffic here on a Monday morning and see what's happening. Route 8 still kind of messy in some of the usual spots and unusual spots as the police continue to conduct the investigation into just exactly what happened early this morning that flipped over a vehicle and caused it to hit a power pole. And now we have another fatality on Guam's roadways. Please drive carefully. There's no reason to be in that big of a hurry. It's summertime. Let's survive it here. Traffic, Marine Corps Drive southbound into the Dededo area. Tiny bit of traffic at the intersection of 1 and 3. Little intersection traffic at Marine Corps Drive at the Micronesia Mall. 16 looks busy at most of the intersections all the way up until you get to the intersection of 8, 10, and 16. You'll see it slowing down around Happy Mart, but it'll get back on the move. Expect some delays northbound on Route 8, definitely around the accident area. And then we've got dogging in and out traffic as you get closer and closer to the downtown Getnia area. Route 4 is running fairly smooth, so you might want to consider taking that route if you can get to it in a handy way. And then we got a little bit of traffic in Itagania intersection of 1 and 4 and over at Adelup. Where else are we looking at traffic? Oh, Big Navy and Sumai, as usual. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right now traffic on the point.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
In 20 minutes, it'll be 8 o'clock in the morning. You thinking about lunch already? Yeah, I'm thinking about lunch. You swing by the nearest Subway and enjoy the Eat Fresh, Refresh new roast beef. What kind of roast beef? Choice Angus roast beef that goes in there. You can have that by itself or layer it up with oven-roasted turkey and a Black Forest ham. They call that the Subway Club. Found a new way to enjoy that as well. New roast beef, and we've got the multi-grain bread and your favorite sliced vegetables at Subway Eat Fresh. And away we go into the drive time. I got to remind you now, swing by Beyond the Box, Micronesia Mall. They've been working with Docomo Pacific, and they can help you blast past fast with a brand new iPhone 12. And you go, oh, yeah, I like those. Kind of pricey, though, huh? No, not with this deal. Swing by there and get details on a new iPhone 12 mini, 12 gigs for $699. You want to go all the way? How about the iPhone 12 Pro Max? Lots of memory, 256 gigs. This set you back $14.99 regularly priced, only $1,099. Graduation, Father's Day specials going on over at Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall. 18 away from the top of the hour, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Sad to report a story here this morning that we were picking up just as the program was beginning, and investigation continuing on Route 8. Looks like a car has left the road and struck a utility pole in that area. There is a fatality. Friday, on my way home, I took kind of the long way and ended up passing by that mobile gas station in Tamuning, East Agania, and saw the Jamaican Grill vehicle pinned up against that and saw the images of it and the police and the fire and everybody that was around there, and then found out obviously it was a fatality as well. And I think we need to ask the question again. We don't know what the causes are going to end up being at this point. It's still very early, still investigation phase. But I wonder if those two drivers would still be alive if they'd have hit a guardrail instead of a concrete pole. And why do we have concrete poles so close to moving traffic on most of Guam's roadways? Is there a better way to do this? Are there other plans? Is it possible that we might be able to find a way to invest in undergrounding some of this, especially along Guam's, routed roads where people are a little bit heavier on the accelerator, and with the kind of distracted driving that we have, just bad driving that we have here on Guam? Is it possible that maybe we ought to establish some systems of guardrails, K-rails around those things, some kind of maybe a water barricade or a sand barricade, something that will absorb the impact of the vehicle hitting it, as opposed to just, there's another fatality. Oops, somebody left the roadway and struck a pole. How many more crucifixes do we need to have? How many little memorials do we need to have next to these things? It seems like now every week we're going to have another fatality, and it will be auto pole. I think this is one of those things that we need to have a serious conversation about with the guys over at DPW and Highway and the legislature and the government to find out if there's a way that we can make our roads safer for everybody, leaving the road should not be a death sentence. That should not be the penalty for distracted driving or some malfunction in the automobile. 744, ponder that, why don't you? 888-825-5888, TALK. Is that the Guam guy?
Community hero.
Oh, my God. Farron's on the line. I love talking with this guy. How you doing there, Farron?
I'm very good. How are you?
You know, awesome. I got to say, you know, one of the things that my Instagram algorithm, whenever there's one of your videos playing, I got to watch it all the way through. And then I noticed then there's other videos. And you've been pretty active lately, buddy.
Yes, sir. A lot of things to do, a lot of fun ideas. Been cooking up and just trying to plan on and then execute, and you're just seeing that ongoing process.
Well, they're funny and they're fantastic, and I like the way you put them together, and including the one where we'll start. I think with the oldest one of the Instagram feeds that I saw, and that was your recovery of somebody's UAV.
Oh, we're going back, yeah. I guess that was like a week or two ago.
Well, I don't talk to you that often, so yeah, it's been a little bit. So you found this drone and pulled it out the water.
Uh-huh.
And then what happened?
And then there was it was a micro SD card and had a lot of files on it, 132. I'm sorry, over 100. I'm sorry, 132, 100 something gigabyte SD card, and had 75 gigs of precious pictures and videos of memories on Guam and travel in the States. And I came to find out it belonged to a travel nurse. And the funny thing is the SD card still worked. So I put it in my computer. I ripped the footage and some pictures so I could make a video for them with their own footage and then see if anybody would recognize them. And literally within a minute or two of me posting it, somebody tagged the actual owner of the drone and the SD card within a minute or two. This was like at 6:30 in the morning. Like, I don't know who.
Well, we're up at 6:30 in the morning. No surprise. But that's amazing.
Yeah. Sadly, the owner, travel nurse, like I said, by that nature, she left Guam already, so she's been in Indonesia. But then I think the same day or the next day, one of her friends is like, said that, hey, I'm actually going out to where you are. Want me to just get the drone and bring it out to you? And so that should have happened, I guess, day before yesterday. So now the drone, if they brought it, it's useless. But if there's any sentimental reason, the drone, at the very least, the SD card has made it back to the owner.
That is an incredible story, and I'm so glad you're the guy that found that, because anybody else, would have just kind of junked it or tried to fence the drone or something like that and toss the SD card. I'm really, really happy that gave you an opportunity to lay down some footage and do something good for the community. And then likewise, you took some of your diving and snorkeling stuff and took it into the depths of some of Guam's boony rivers. What'd you find that time?
So we went to Waterfall Valley, and over there we found somebody's phone, and the drone encounter was purely by chance that we found that under Tinaga Falls. The one looking for the phone was very intentional. That was completely on purpose because we had a request. There was two people that messaged us and said, hey, we just went hiking. We saw that you found the drone, and we have a similar situation. Our friend lost her cell phone jumping into one of the waterfalls at Waterfall Valley.
Which you do down in Waterfall Valley, yeah.
And so sometimes, like, I can't respond to everything. There's a lot of people losing stuff, and just with other plans I have at time. But I felt for this one because one of the messages explained that it's a military spouse. She works for one of the government of Guam agencies, her husband's her husband's on deployment, and it was all of her IDs in the world, all of her credit cards, ATM cards. So she has no identification and no way of spending money while her husband's deployed, and then also just basically can't function. It took her 6 hours to get it back into base when she needed to, after pleading with the guards in the office and whatever like that. So I'm like, all right. I feel bad for this one, so we'll go find that.
Let's drive down to Inarahan, get into Malolo, and get into Waterfall Valley.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a bizarre thing to be hiking with scuba gear. I don't know if you.
I saw that you had scuba gear, and you're right. There's some parts in there where you need all four limbs to control yourself ascending and descending into that area. Some beautiful, absolutely beautiful spots that you've got there. Fairly easy to get to. It's not one of these level 5 hikes, but made that much more difficult because you were carrying some scuba gear in there. So you found the phone and arranged the reunion with the lady and the phone, but more importantly, the IDs and the cards.
Yeah, yes. The cards worked just fine. She treated us to some infusion afterwards, so we definitely helped her test it out.
There's a couple others that you were working on, and speaking of Inarajan and the southern end of the island, the Inarajan pools are undergoing some refurb, and there's a video that you shot where you actually jumped into the water and took a look at what is still some fairly dangerous stuff lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah, it's a bit, I would say, quite a bit less dangerous now. What do you call it? So I'm like all of us, I have memories of jumping off the old platform and then jumping off after the platform fell down and then hitting the platform that's underwater. And so, like, all right, I just, I'm not going to make any assumptions, but I figure, hey, more eyes in the area couldn't hurt. And so I offered the mayor's office. We partner with them for the Tanago Falls cleanup, and they provided a trailer. And and so I said, hey, you guys know me, you know what I'm about. I'm happy to have a look around in there if you guys would like a second opinion, just in case. And I'm glad I did. There were a couple of boulders, and they did look quite new, just based on their color. So you can tell if they're quite white, they were either recently quarried or recently placed or sourced somehow. And the one was about 3 feet away from the end of the diving board, straight underneath.
Danger. And
then the other one was about 6-7 feet away from the end of the diving board, just slightly to the right, but you would hit your right foot on it. Let's say it was slightly off center, but still right in front of the end of the diving board. Maybe 6 feet or so. And so the mayor's office did send a representative there in case I was questioned.
Hey, what are you doing on the other side of our construction here, boy?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm like, all right. We both agreed that they needed to be moved. And so I'm like, shoot, I know that coral and limestone has about a density of, let's say, 1.7 grams per cubic centimeter. Anyways, it's not that dense, right? It's less than twice as dense as the water. So you're only going to be moving about a little more than a third of the weight. So I tested the weight, and sure enough, I could roll it out of the way. So I just rolled the bigger one out of the way, and I kind of half picked up, half rolled the other one in the other direction just to keep it clear. And then there was
nothing you can do? Is there nothing you can't do, Farron? I mean, talking with the Guam guy, you've seen his videos on Instagram. If you haven't, find him, like him, follow him, and then you'll get him on the screen. And now, more importantly, in the last video that I saw, and I'm like you, very, very proud of everybody that came out to it. And I know some of the organizers of the event. There were people had noticed in the media that there had been some significant trashing at a cemetery of all places. People taking their junk and dumping it off at a cemetery. Certainly not the way we're supposed to be looking after and honoring our ancestors. So you and 150 of your closest friends went out and did a cleanup.
Yeah, well, I guess good friends now, total strangers at the time. But yeah, so this was actually an event put on by Love Guam and the Coral Reef Initiative, and I just showed up purely as a volunteer. So yeah, it's literally there's a littering problem there, and there's also a dumping problem there. I consider those two different things. So something about I can't prove this, but my strong suspicion is that based on what we found, so it looked like some outdoorsy stuff, some old gym equipment and furniture. It seemed like somebody that has a kind of a pickup truck or trailer business of hauling trash away from somebody's house.
Oh, and then dumping it there.
So I can't prove that. That's just my suspicion. But let me add on to that, because there were several trash bags full, like big, black, thick contractor bags full of like leaves and cut grass and stuff. So maybe a lawn care business or something like that.
So we got to do some surveillance there because you know how it is. Once you've cleaned up the spot, and you've talked about cleaning up Tinago. I was there over the weekend with Reed. The place looks great. It keeps, but there's cans over here, bottles of plastic bottles over there. It's one of those things that people need to clean up after themselves, and we got to police them a little bit more. Otherwise, there ain't going to be anything for us to enjoy around here. There'll be even less for tourists to come and enjoy. 7:54. What you going to be working on in the near future? We covered a lot of ground here, and with like 4 videos that you've got. Do you have anything new that you're going to be uploading soon?
Yeah, I have another partnership cleanup this weekend with Poksai, the canoe paddling group.
Yeah.
If that's a fair, we're going to try this out first and see how it goes. I will say it involves their canoes, so it'll be a really interesting way to see if we can get some paddlers or different types of shallow water craft and people to contribute in a way that meets them with their hobby or profession or interest.
Cool. So 7:55, Farron. And one last thing here for people that want to be, aspire, see what you do, and aspire to be kind of citizen journalists, kind of participate in some interesting things that happen here on Guam. Do you use any special equipment? You got like the latest and greatest GoPro, or is it shooting off a Samsung or an iPhone or something?
I use a GoPro and the phone that's in my pocket. That's about it.
That's it. That's all you need to do. Any sophisticated software that you're using? Stitch it all together?
No. So I do really weird things, right? But if you actually pay attention and you used to making or editing videos, you'll notice I have basically no style. I have no style with cinematography. I don't know I can't do cinematographic shooting. I'm very literal, straight up. I just shoot the things I do, and then I just chop and paste them together. I don't use any kind of weird, any kind of fun transitions or anything cool like that. I don't know how to make things look pretty. I just like to do weird things.
That's okay. I think maybe that's
all right on camera.
I think maybe that's one of the reasons why it's so attractive. It's kind of shoot a 1-to-1 ratio as much as possible, and eliminate the stutters and the ahs as much as possible, and just come out with something that the people can digest in about a minute and a half. 7:57 and change. I'll talk to you soon. I really, really do appreciate what you do, and the fact that you're able to help tell those stories. I think there's a bunch of people that have been positively influenced by them, and that's a good thing.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of good comments saying the same.
Well, keep it up.
Too, yeah.
Keep it up, my brother. I'll talk to you pretty soon, and maybe one of these days we can go and hang out and make videos together.
Shoot.
All right, bud. You have a great day. That's my buddy Farron. He is the Guam guy. What's it? That's not his whole name. Is it not like Madonna or Prince, right? He's got a last name.
No,
and
it's
everything?
Tyron.
Tyron.
Yeah.
How come he answered me when I said Farron?
I don't know. His first name.
Oh, his first name is Farron. Farron Tyron.
Yes.
Okay. One of these days, come down and it's something handy about knowing exactly who the hell it is. I just call him the Guam guy. It's one of my favorite attractions when we start talking about the social medias. 888-8255. Jack's on the line. Good morning, Jack.
Hey, good morning, Raymond. Just real quick, I didn't call about this subject, but since the last caller brought it up, so this past Memorial Day, the KUAM put on their Instagram and on their Facebook displaying the Memorial Day 2022 footage from a drone. The problem is that's not from 2022. That's from like 2016 or something like that, because you could tell it's not this year's Memorial Day because the War Dog Memorial display is missing.
Ooh.
So I don't mind, them promoting the Memorial Day. What I disagree with is promoting it in a way like, hey, this is what happened in 2022, and it wasn't. That's a big shame. It's one of the reasons why people don't trust local media, and I'm just really, it turns my gut inside out.
Huh.
But furthermore, I really caught about what you said about the about the deaths here and about gas prices. But we don't have time. But I want you to keep this on your radar. I've been traveling these roads for a long time. I make my living off these roads, and there's 3 to 5 minutes on my travel time when there's no traffic. But because the traffic lights are so messed up, That's 3 to 5 minutes that are added on mine. And if it's added on mine, it's worse during traffic hours. And then another thing is that they're opening up a Happy Mart here, but there's no sidewalk on Hamburger Road. There's a lot of foot traffic there, even without the Happy Mart being open there. And there's no really logistics going on, and we're wasting money on nonsense things. And there's a lot of things that this government should have done prepare us from coming out of the pandemic.
I've got 2 more hours on this program, Jack. I got to break away. Fox News is next. And you're always welcome to chime in. We often find ourselves walking down parallel roads in terms of topics. More on that after the Fox News.
Cut loose in 2024. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. That's what the New York Times reports on what many Democrats believe about President Biden. The report says they're doubting his ability to rescue the party from a predicted midterm trouncing. Inflation now a key issue.
Many economists think the crisis is only going to get worse. There were no signs in the Labor Department's report Friday indicating inflation is slowing down. Groceries are up 12%, the highest spike since 1979. The restaurant and bar tabs are up 9%, the largest ever. Fuel oil, which we use to heat our homes and businesses, of course, that has doubled in the past year. Electricity, rent, and airline tickets are all up as well. Inflation is now the biggest issue on the minds of voters heading into the midterm elections, according to polls.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House. A bipartisan group of senators has agreed on the framework for a gun control bill, which includes mental health programs and expanded background checks for under 21 gun buyers. Connecticut Democratic Governor Ned Lamont.
A little bit of progress is always worth it. Fight for what you can get, and then come back next year for a little bit more.
Lamont on ABC's This Week. Russia's gained the upper hand in the eastern regions of Ukraine. Fox's Mike Tobin has a story from Kyiv.
Fighting has been most severe in the eastern town of Severodonetsk. As this has evolved into an artillery war, the town has really been blown to bits. Zelensky called Severodonetsk a dead city, but if Ukraine abandons it, that would give Russia control of an entire province. Ukraine has launched some counteroffensives in the south with small progress.
The British Ministry of Defense says both sides are struggling to maintain a defensive line. According to projections from partial results, French President Macron's centrist alliance is expected to keep its parliamentary majority after the first round of voting today. The second round is in 1 week. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey there, folks. It's me, KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel. My KFC Extra Crispy Chicken is freshly double-breaded and fried to a luxurious, mouth-watering bronze. You see, Extra Crispy KFC Chicken isn't just a product, it's a lifestyle.
And for a limited time, KFC's delicious egg tarts are back. Pick up your KFC Extra Crispy Chicken meal and an order of egg tarts at your favorite KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The 2022 GSPN Boys Volleyball All-Star Game presented by the Guam Army National Guard goes down Sunday, June 12th at the FD Phoenix Center. The best high school players from both the public and private schools will put their talents on display, coached by the champion coaches. Watch it live at the Phoenix Center or streaming on GuamSportsNetwork.com, powered by IT&E. The 2022 GSPN Boys Volleyball All-Star Game, June 12th.
News.
President Biden was in New Mexico yesterday, where he commended crews battling devastating wildfires.
There's an expression where I come from. God made man, then he made some firefighters. You're all crazy, but I love you.
President Biden said he's escalating federal assistance for New Mexico as it faces its largest wildfire in recorded state history. That fire began with prescribed burns set by the U.S. Forest Service. A well-known figure gets off to a good start in her attempted political comeback. Fox's Kevin Uretsky.
Former Alaska governor and one-time Republican vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin leads in the early returns from Saturday's special primary for Alaska's only seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Palin has nearly 30% of the vote. 48 candidates in all are seeking to fill the seat, held for 49 years by the late Don Young, who died in March. The top 4 vote-getters advanced to an August special election. The winner serves the remainder of Young's term, which ends in January. This is Palin's first campaign since resigning as governor during her term back in 2009. Kevin Uretsky,
Fox News. An L.A. area man has been arrested after allegedly kidnapping and torturing a woman for months. Fox's Laura Cantor reports.
The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department said that 59-year-old Peter Anthony McGuire of Chino Hills was arrested after a police standoff Saturday. McGuire had barricaded himself inside a residence in Placentia Saturday morning after police tried to serve an arrest warrant. He eventually surrendered and was taken into custody. A woman told police Thursday night that she had escaped McGuire's house just minutes before, where she had been held against her will for several months. Besides kidnapping and torture, McGuire is charged with aggravated mayhem, rape, false imprisonment, and assault with a deadly weapon. Laura Cantor, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Half a day. Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of business determines who owns a property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has a management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. Well, police confirmed that one man was killed in an early morning crash today along Route 8 in Barragán over by the Palomo store. The man was driving a red Nissan Xterra that lost control and flipped and struck a utility pole. The driver was said to have been killed in the crash and was taken to Naval Hospital. His name has not been released. We are told that the scene has been cleared and the roadway reopened to traffic. Meanwhile, the investigation continues into another fatal crash that took place on Friday morning, just before noon, actually, in front of the Vince Jewelry along Marine Corps Drive in East Agagna. A man who family members identified as Eric Pangilinan died when the Jamaican Grill van he was driving crashed into a utility pole. The man's aunt told the Guam Daily Post that she was gassing up at the mobile service station when she witnessed the crash. The driver was the lone occupant in that vehicle. Elsewhere in police news, a man accused of abusing 3 children faces additional criminal charges after a teenage girl alleged that he had molested her and raped her for the last 10 years. 45-year-old Greg Romalor was charged with criminal sexual conduct. The child, who's now 16, allegedly told police last month that the sexual abuse occurred multiple times starting in 2011. The latest alleged incident occurred in August of 2021. Romalor denied the allegations. At the same time of his arrest, according to the Guam Daily Post story, he was on pretrial release for a case reported this past February that charged him with 4 counts of child abuse and 3 counts of family violence as misdemeanors. The child in that case allegedly told police that she and her siblings were abused by Greg Romalor and his wife Marcy Romalor, who's 33, saying that she would watch. She said that the alleged abuse had been going on for more than 10 years. And a 36-year-old man who allegedly attacked another individual at the Dededo skate park was arrested on 2 counts of aggravated assault and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. The man identified himself as Martin Robon. He's alleged to have assaulted an individual at the park, attacking him with a machete. We'll have more news right after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Department of Parks and Recreation has rescinded its closure of the Paseo Park after previously restricting car owners and drivers from converging following a ruckus that took place at the Paseo a couple of weeks ago involving guns and a machete. The Lieutenant Governor announced on Friday that effective immediately, the east parking lot of Paseo will remain open to the public. The reversal of the policy came after a meeting on Friday at the governor's office of more than 20 automotive groups that gathered at the Paseo parking lot. Guam Police Department Chief Steve Ignacio and Public Parks and Rec Director Rocky Alcantara attended the meeting and were supportive of the reopening of the park immediately. And we're very specific that there are guidelines to keep it safe and drug and alcohol free. And a temporary pause on the acceptance of new emergency rental assistance program applications will be effective today, according to a news release from the governor's office. The pause is so that officials can process existing applications. So far, over 4,000 households have been benefited from the program, receiving about $15.9 million in relief funds. Pre-eligible applicants who already have undergone the process can still submit documents to the ITC building, and those who've already participated in the program can also apply for additional subsidy. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program will close on September 30th. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Yeah, probably. No, I know where it is. I was looking to see if there was something that I wanted to interject in between here and there. And I might, but scattered showers today, mostly before 10. I don't know if anything has fallen. I haven't been outside for a couple hours. Mostly cloudy, daytime highs near 89 degrees. Winds east up to about 15 miles an hour today. Tonight, east winds 8 to 14. Isolated showers, mostly cloudy skies. And overnight low should be about 77 degrees. But when you get in the car at 4:30 like I did, it will be 84. Wow, already hot today. Partly sunny in the forecast for tomorrow. Highs near 89, east winds 8 to 13 miles an hour. Isolated showers in the forecast for tomorrow evening, mostly cloudy, and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Now, I'm digging where it says mostly cloudy because maybe that's going to help cool the house down. Sunrise this morning early at 5:53. Sunset tonight not until 6:48. Spectacular sunset last night, and maybe a repeat performance tonight. You just never know. 8:11 in the morning. That's news and weather together on The Point.
As part of our ongoing commitment to keeping you connected, GTA is proud to participate in the Affordable Connectivity Program. The Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP, provides eligible households with a $30 credit toward internet or mobile services. And now, if you qualify for ACP, you can get internet for as low as $28 a month. We're making it simple for both new and existing customers to apply this credit toward GTA internet and mobile services. To see if you qualify, visit gta.net. GTA, we start with you.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
It's American President Lines bringing you portions of the program. APL, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at Nissan Guam. They are officially starting summer with an incredible It's Officially Summer deal. You got all kinds of fantastic rides, safety features, super technology, and from the ground up rebuilt just for you. And I tell you what, we can get you into one of those brand new 2022s. I saw the Caravan the other day. It's just gorgeous. And some of the really, really sexy cars they got. They put those things up on flatbeds so they get absolutely no miles between the port and Nissan Guam. Why don't you check it out today? 0 down payment, right? 1.99% and super flexible terms. Find out what they are at NissanGuam.com.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
And on the app. Download that app, which is absolutely free. Apple Play Store, Google, whatever, and download the thing, and it will work with your CarPlay, all of those different systems that you might have. Listening online in the app right now, saw somebody out in Metro Manila, which is in the Philippines. Which one day? Yeah, and happy Independence. Appreciate you spending some time with us. Honolulu, Hawaii is tuned in this morning on the app feature as well. 8:15 in the morning. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez in a couple of minutes, but look out, old Jackie is back. Welcome back.
Yeah, so just to carry on a conversation about the rising gas prices and the failure of this administration and government agencies to at least work on things to improve the driving conditions here on the road and making more driver-friendly, making more pedestrian-friendly, and at the same time, help us in conserving our gas. One of the things they could do is work on these traffic lights. Whatever they've been doing over the Wuhan virus period, all the reconstruction, they must have messed up the sequencing or the sensors or something, because there's been an added 3 to 5 minutes on my travel on a regular routine route that I've taken for the past 10, 15 years, which is ridiculous. And I mentioned about I heard your news story about the tragedy on Route 8.
Oh.
You know as well as I do, because you used to live in that area, there's very little street lights there, illuminating that roadway. There's maybe 6 or 7 as you pass the armory and the post office. It's like you're heading into the jungle when you're traveling at night. So, there's a lot of things this administration is supposed to be doing, didn't do. Now, about the Hamburger Road place, there's a bus stop there. There's a bus stop there, and you take out a measure. You just take out your tape measure. It's less than 3 feet from the entrance of the bus stop till it hits the road, Raymond.
It doesn't sound like a whole lot of margin here for safety.
No, so they know they're going to open up a Happy Mart. They know that since for a year or two or so that they're going to open up. There's no sidewalks on there. There's lack of illumination on that thoroughway. It's just going to be a bottleneck for the next foreseeable future. But that place had always had foot traffic. Doesn't matter what time of day you're going through there, and it's just sad. The logistics here, it's awful. It's just getting worse.
Well, I've got the former Governor Gutierrez on the other line here, and it might be worth reminding him that we need to make sure that steps are taken with a new private contractor in the area, and if not, then just get DPW to get out there. We need to put some lights and some sidewalks in between Marine Corps Drive and the Guam International Airport. The Koreans are coming back, and they do things differently than us, and they're more than happy to walk from their B&B to the airport, and there ain't no sidewalk there for a big chunk of that, and there's no lights for a big chunk of that.
Yeah, and also in addition, I know that you're harping on the telephone or the power line,
utility poles, yeah.
But here's the problem. Those things don't move. They don't jump out in front of your car. So that's really just operator error plus road condition hazard.
Okay, but operator error should not, it should not be a death sentence. Is my point. I get it. Lee Weber's criticizing me. He says you talk about polls like Congress talks about guns, and I hear the criticism. I hear the claim, and they say there's a lot of distracted drivers or drunk drivers or whatever. Hey, the sin of drunk driving should not be death. The penalty should not be death. The penalty for picking up your phone or texting somebody or whatever the case is when people hit these polls should not be death. Those things, you're right, they don't move. And smarter planning would have said we either underground the thing or we put some kind of a barricade in between the drivers and that. In fact, I'd prefer a barricade. We could turn those to the side. We could use the area back there as a sidewalk. But we can't. Wait. I'm going to let you make your point, and then I got to move on.
All right. Here's the point. No matter what you do, the best thing that we could do is mitigate for the majority of us. There's still going to be people out there in the society that will out-stupid themselves. And I'm sorry, maybe that's what Darwin meant by natural selection. But,
tell that to the family of the kids that died in the last 72 hours.
I mourn for them, but let's put the onus where it's supposed to go. And yes, government needs involvement, and the involvement is mitigating the circumstances for the majority of us. That's better street lights, sidewalks, lit. And I told you about this book about a year ago, Charles Marone, Confessions of a Recovering Engineer, Transportation for a Strong Town. we need to reinvent the way we do logistics here in Guam, because that's the lifeblood. From whether you're a Payless to a mom and stop store, whether you're trying to conserve gas or something, or you're trying to get from point A to point B, we need to reinvent this way, because what we're doing right now isn't working.
I got you.
If you make roads for NASCAR speeds, people are going to do NASCAR speeds.
And that's what we've got. But we didn't put anything to soften the blow between going off the road and hitting a pole. 8:19 in the morning, Jack. I'll talk to you again soon. You have a great day. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez joins us now on Monday morning, and I know how busy you are, and I know you got the fam tour in town. But you reached out to me early on, what was that, Saturday, to lay down some really, really incredible news about travel opportunities around Guam and the United States.
And Taiwan is the big one that hit that won't require more than 3 days quarantine and 7 days your own self quarantine, whatever it is. You just report everything. So that's a good sign. There are three airlines that are ready to fly to Guam, and I hope that in itself would spur them to move their schedule a lot closer to in July instead of August. And so that's a good sign, and I'm sure that the friendly nudge from the competitors between Japan, Korea, and Taiwan would push the others to move faster, because Korea is going to start taking almost all of the trips here to Guam, and
get all the good time slots and all the good slots over at the airport with the downloads. One of the other big stories that came out, CDC has announced that as of midnight, June 12th, they will no longer require air passengers traveling from a foreign country to the United States to show a negative COVID-19 test or documentation of recovery. That's good for Guam. We are the United States, and that's one less thing that a tourist is going to have to check off when they make plans to come to Guam.
Yes, and hopefully with that, I know that we cannot. All we can do is nudge the Japan government, for example, because they require your PCR test coming back in Korea, is to kind of nudge them. Our travel agents too, that we're paying for the return of these people by paying for their PCR and their antigen here. And now with the elimination of them going back, maybe we can kind of split the cost with the travel agents, because this is a lot of money that you just can't string up beyond September 30.
No. Well, I'm just thinking, is it possible that some of our source destinations, our source markets, might reciprocate? I'm thinking, the CDC is saying this about the United States, and using the same logic that the CDC and the airline groups in the States did. What are we testing for? We've already got COVID, and we know it's already here. There's no point in testing to see if anybody's got it. Maybe they will assume that same logic in the source markets and say, yeah, if that's good enough for the CDC, that'll be good enough for us. And likewise, we'll drop another barrier to travel between the source markets, Guam, and then back home.
Yes, I agree with you absolutely 100%. I was just saying that maybe in the interim, since we've removed the requirement of them, being vaccinated to come, tested before they come to Guam, that they can, we can share the cost of them going back. I'm talking about if they pay $200 for a travel from Japan to Guam, say, because they have to take that test. Now they don't have to. Can you split the $175 with us now with $100 going back?
I like the way you think. 8:22 in the morning, and that was some really, really good news. Just got that feeling like with just one or two more of these requirements that get dropped in the United States and in the source markets here, it's going to be game on again. And as I remarked earlier, it was fantastic seeing the beaches full as they are. A lot of rent-a-car getting out there and people hitting as many of the spots as possible, and just kind of doing what I thought it was going to be, which is revenge travel. Welcome to Guam. Have a good time.
The complaints I'm getting now from the locals is that they're standing in line to 1 hour to be seated at a restaurant.
Yes.
It's a good problem, but you're right. Now maybe it takes the people, seeing is believing. They're here. Those that haven't opened up their optional tours or their restaurants, please do so, because it's coming. If coming sooner than later.
Well, it's I'm almost at the point where I don't want to eat in Tumon anymore. They're just everywhere I tried to go on Friday night, it was 25, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in a couple of places worth of wait time, and so at some point you just say never. You know what? I got Spam at the house. I think I'm just going to eat Spam and call it a night.
As if we can, some of the restaurants, the Japanese restaurants, for example, I know that United flies here a lot, 14 flights a week, but there must be a little bit of a problem of carrying out the fresh sashimi and all the fresh goods from Japan, right? So Japan Airlines have done that in the past with them. They can't wait for that to happen so they can really get up to their A1, menu because people are looking for that, and so. Yeah, we're just we're getting there, and sometimes these little problems are what we ask for.
One of the other things, and I was very concerned about this when you started sending me pictures of a very crowded second floor at the Guam International Airport's customs and immigrations, and it has always been a significant part of the trip for these guys. Once they land, there's always a big wait time, depending on what time they were arriving, how many other planes were coming in simultaneously. Have we gotten any better at that now, 2022, and returning waves of tourists? What's the wait time at the airport for them to get off the plane, through the process, and then out the door?
Well, the optimum that we've worked out with immigration is like 45 minutes should be able to be out, and they're trying to get that kind of a schedule, But you're right. It's just that maybe now immigration, if they've cut back a little bit, maybe they should augment their staff again, and because there's a lot of more, with the advent of the third floor there and the easy movement of domestic travelers and foreign travelers not intermingling, I think it should work better now for those that are coming in from foreign countries.
Gotcha. Fam tours in town, everything that has been planned is starting to get ticked off. These guys moving around and taking pictures?
Yeah, they're coming in at 3:30 today, most of them.
Okay.
Flight, and then tonight they're all here. They're going to be running to the hotels. But tomorrow we have an opening, with the travel tour agents. And then tomorrow evening we have the reception, and we're going to put every travel agent tour groups together with the Japan group that are here and the media group.
Former Governor. Go ahead.
Right, so Japan can, begin to really ramp up. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, they'll be flying here like crazy.
Well, like I said, it just feels like lifting a restriction here or there is going to be game on for Guam, and I think there's a lot of people that are ready for it. I got to say, as earlier, and I've got it up on the screen. So nice to see so many tourists mingling with the military, mingling with the locals down in Tumon. I like to go down there on Fridays, and this Friday I was down there, and there's a pretty Korean girl, and I'm assuming that she's one of your influencers with Instagram, and she's got her tripod set up and all of her goodies spread out. And in addition to all of the regular beach goodies, she has an actual stand-up fan. I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but she brought a battery-powered standing fan to the beach to keep her cool. And it just seems to me that image, in and of itself, is going to drive a lot of attention to Guam. Do we still have a lot of kind of freelance Instagram influencers that are flying here to Guam? Do you guys keep track of any of that?
Well, we try to, but there's a lot of them that just come in, just pop up. But we bring them from everywhere. The Philippines we had one come in here with 1 million some followers, and Taiwan is what we're looking for. They've already started that during the Airbnb, and those things are still sticking. They're rerunning it again in Taiwan when they were here to get the Airbnb. So we're getting a free media on that. But yes, there are those that are now reaching out to us to be able to be included, so they can come here and do what we can. And it's really it's less expensive for us than to buy ads in the newspapers or TV in their country. These people are reaching out for the FITs, and we're kind of putting our attention to those kind of influencers.
And if you want to know more than just log on to Instagram, #Guam, put together a search for #Guam, and you'll see many of those influencers, and you will see some of the things that are popping up, and they're gorgeous shots of Guam. And the more of this kind of thing we can encourage, the better. 8:28 in the morning. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez online. A friend of mine chiming in on the subject. He says, I just returned from Korea last Saturday, and they no longer require PCR tests for entry. Antigen is acceptable.
Yes, that's correct, and that's why we have those free antigen testings right now in 4 areas. We have the NICO, we have the Hyatt, we have the Dusit at the Plaza, and we have PIC. And so our team, GBB and Department of Public Health, started this morning at 8:30, and they're moving forward to giving the free testings right there. Not only whatever we can do for COVID testing, we will do. And we have worked it out with Public Health where they will work weekends, so there was no lag time or no problems. The private clinics are still on for a time being. Yeah, you're right, antigen, but it still costs a little bit of money for antigen. Public Health, as a matter of fact, it costs more to do antigen than it does for PCR.
I like my Auntie Jerry better than I like Auntie Jen.
Still the one.
Wait. So let me see if I can personalize this for me. So let's say I struck up a conversation with a fan lady over at the beach, and said, okay, I want to go to South Korea, even though I'm not vaccinated. If I got an antigen test that would show that have had and recovered from COVID-19, wouldn't that be sufficient?
I'm not sure, but I'll double check that.
That'd be fun.
I think everyone has to have, even when I was, into the United States, although you don't have to be to get the test, right? You still have to show vaccination.
Indeed.
So we know it's the same thing back to the other countries, I'm sure.
I'm waiting for Macris to say that there's kind of a watered down, kind of easy to take, no side effects, nothing to worry about kind of vaccine, and then me and Real Joe and you we're all going to go to the Philippines.
Yeah, or Costa Rica. I think that.
Or Costa Rica, yes. Either or. I appreciate it. You can be my travel agent, Gov. Hey, it's always fun talking with you. Looking forward to seeing you at a bunch of FAM Tour events this week.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
It's the 888-825-5888-TALK, bottom of the hour. And that is kind of a big deal. They continue to, operate. And if you need a test to get back into your country, we'll do that for you. Need the antigen testing. And there are places here that, that are working with GVB, the hotel's working with GVB to expedite that process for all of their customers. Bottom of the hour, 888-825. I keep thinking about what's in my head after that conversation with Jack, because it does remind me, and there's a certain frustration that we get when we're on the road and the light turns red and there's nobody coming for miles and miles and miles, and you go, why cannot this be in blink mode? Why cannot all right turns be against a red safely? Why are we stopping traffic all the time? I've never liked what they did with the intersection of 810 and 16. When we were kind of sold this game that, we're going to refurb this. People at Guam suffered Carmageddon up there for a couple of years that lingered because they couldn't figure out what kind of friction course to put on the top of it. It had to meet all of these specs so it wouldn't peel off. Naturally, as soon as we reopened that roadway and the new friction course that everybody waited 6 months for, no sooner was it open than the friction course began to peel off. Well, thank you very much. But the idea was, maybe we'd be able to get more cars through 8, 10, and 16 faster. And then somebody came up with the idea that, hey, you know what? There's a school and a golf course back here. Let's put another intersection within 100 feet of the other intersection. How many times have you thought about, going through that intersection, realizing that there's another stop, and they're not synchronized, so you might have a green light over at the intersection where the gas stations are, and then when you pull up to Happy Mart, it's red, and then you got people that are bridging the intersection and doing all of this other stuff. And it just occurs to me that why do we need to stop there unless the school is opening or closing? Because honestly, that's the only thing back there now. Unless they're opening or closing, then that light ought to be in blink mode about all of the rest of the time, and just let traffic go through it. If somebody comes up and needs to go, they do like we did before there was an intersection there. And we do a thing. It's a four-letter word. It's one of my hated four-letter words, but you got to plan out your trips. Wait. Just wait. And then there will eventually be an opening, because the red light over at the gas stations will help control the flow of traffic through there. So it ain't rocket sciences, and the world existed before there was that second intersection. I have no idea whose idea. I have no idea who thought it was a big idea to put that second intersection there, and it makes no sense. And there's probably a dozen other intersections that we've got here that should, like the entrance into Cañada Tota Road, that should be blinking all the time. You want to go? Wait until there's no cars and then just go. Otherwise, we'll turn on the light if we need to for traffic. 8:33 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Monica Silva Tyrant has got her last big look at news and headlines coming up in just a second. Be right back.
Are you looking for job opportunities? That's perfect. Taiho is a company based in Korea that provides opportunities for people to work at production sites in the United States. They offer a wide variety of jobs that may suit you. Come and check it out. For more information, visit www.gotomainland.com or go to their office at the old iConnect building or call 671-648-9788. What are you waiting for? Go grab that opportunity and fly out to the mainland.
Choice Broadcasting introduces their unbeatable lineup of morning show.
Hands down winners of Guam's morning radio battle.
Daryl Lizama grooves his way through Boss 104 playing Guam's favorite classic hits.
Morning mouth Ray Gibson shakes the cage on 93.3 The Point.
And now, we are proud to announce the Morning Blender with Kyle Mandapat, mixing it up at sunrise on Star 101.
If you're an advertiser trying to reach the most valuable ears, we've got the shows that listeners have been tuning into for decades.
One call gets all three.
671-888-7346. That's 888-REIO.
Or just find me. I got contracts all the time. And I'm the only one here in the building that is authorized to hook up special deals for my friends. 8:35 on the Ray Gibson Show, and reminiscing now about getting and doing some hiking over the weekend. Did some hiking in the boondocks of all places, Route 15. You know, by Eagles Field.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Eagles Field. There's a road across from there. Do you know where it goes? Neither do I, but I found out. And there's a big gate, but there's
a point out there, right? Like water.
I don't know.
Cliffsides right there.
There's all this coral jungle, limestone jungle out there, and a beach.
Fidian.
I
Is
guess
that what they call that place? Fidian Point,
area.
man.
I don't know.
Agriculture has like a fish farm down there, man.
No. There might have been something going on once upon a time, but the place looked abandoned. And there's all these structures there, bro. They had this one thing. It looked like a what is it? The Stargate is a big concrete. Rectangles that are sticking out of the ground with a hole in the inside of it, but there's nothing on either side.
Ancient aliens.
So that's what I'm thinking. Ancient. That's how we all got here. That's how through these stargates up
you don't
north.
Have pictures? Where's the pictures?
Oh, I don't usually carry a camera when I hike. Sorry,
those moments are for real.
Because I gotta. What is it? Leave only footprints, take only memories, right? That's my deal. Or take only pictures. But I don't like. It's one more thing to worry about when I'm hiking, so I don't bother carrying. Somebody's always got a camera, but there was nobody around me that had a camera. Of course, now I was showing my pictures earlier of me and the great Reed Tapazna out there. We were down at Tenagua Falls. William Shadowin sent me a pic of the last time that he was at the Tenagua Falls.
Oh, wow,
and
Bill.
I'm here to tell you right now, it didn't look anything like that.
Wow, you could have drowned, bro.
It didn't look. Yeah, there's a pool. There's a deep pool, and it's 6.
That's crazy water, dude.
That's crazy water down there. It was coming. I don't want to say it was a trickle, but I didn't really get the falls action because it really hasn't rained a whole lot here, and not much is going on in that section of the hills of Inalan, where you might be able to get something going. So I got to say, William, that's a great picture. You and the beautiful Mrs. William make a great shot, and that is a scene that at Tenagua that I was not able to see. But there were a couple of the watering holes that you could jump into that I didn't.
Good for you, man.
I'm
Good
looking
for you.
I'm looking at that every time I see something like that. I watch guys do it, and I go, okay, maybe I'll. No, because they know that sweet spot where you can jump and not crush your vertebrae.
Oh, boy.
And I don't. So it's always the path of least action for me out there. 8:37 in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant's got that last big news and headlines. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Well, police confirmed that one man is dead following the crash that took place this morning on Route 8. It happened about 5 over by the Palomo store. Traffic is back to normal by now, but investigation is still underway to determine how that crash happened. The man was driving a red Nissan Xterra that lost control, flipped over, and struck a utility pole. The driver was killed in that crash. Meanwhile, the investigation underway into another fatal crash that took place on East Agana on Friday. The driver of the Jamaican grill van was killed in that crash. And as gas prices continue to inch up, the Speaker of the Legislature pushing to get permanent relief at the pump. She introduced a bill that would get rid of that liquid fuel tax. She's pushing the appropriations chair now to process the papers and get the necessary signatures to get that measure on the next session agenda. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
I got you. 8:38 in the morning. 888-8255-888-TALK. Still lots of stuff to talk about this morning, and all the different accidents going on. Brother Daryl next door over at Boss does the show last night, and as he's leaving the radio station, got dogged by somebody. Hit and run. Oh, no. Got a hit and run. The guy. You know.
Dogging out, Ray?
Huh?
Dogging out?
I don't know if he was dogging out, but he got dogging on the road. That's what you call it when somebody rear ends you. This is a whole tomorrow thing. That's called getting dogging on the road. But anyway, so I mean, he's not the only one. Sandra Rage is online here this morning with a picture of her rear end.
Oh my God, she got dogged too?
I'm talking about the car, people. I'm talking about the car. And somebody rear-ended hers about three, 4 weeks ago. I guess
and then split the scene?
I don't know if they split the scene there, but I'm just thinking, you know what, folks, you got to be careful out there. Put the phone down. Don't touch the radio. It's already on the right radio station.
Okay. I'm glad Daryl's okay.
Yeah. I hope everybody. So last night, as I'm finishing up my weekend, I got a little bit of the hungries, and so I thought about it for a second. I said, where am I going to get dinner tonight? And I ended up getting it at a Jamaican Grill because I wanted. I don't know the person that died in the accident on Friday, but obviously people over at the place. Now there's a guy. Every time I go to Jamaican Grill, I make the order on the phone, go to the Ganya shop, and there's a guy. I don't even know his name. He's a guy. And he's just the most pleasant dude in the world. He's always got a smile on his face. It's hard to tell because he's got the mask, but you can tell by listening to him that he's got a smile on his face. Always a great customer service, just a terrific guy, and makes the process of getting your food from Jamaican Grill that much more of a positive, pleasant experience. And when I saw the car in the accident, I was praying that it wasn't this kid. And I was delighted when I went last night to pick up my ribs and my rice and my fruit salad that there was that friendly kid coming out to bring my food to me, and I was elated.
And I imagine
I was elated. And I don't even know the kid's name.
I imagine that they're all devastated because they're all a tight knit group, and they're all friendly just like that.
Yeah, so. we send up our prayers.
Absolutely.
8:41 in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant's going to jam. I'll be right back after these.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Oh, so these aren't commercials? The thing I got up on the screen, that's not a commercial? I don't have to charge anybody advertising to make a plug for. Apparently, they don't have a budget for it. So Sean Guatata wants me to run this like as a PSA here because it's for voter registration. The most important thing in the world.
People.
Get people to get out there and register to vote in the upcoming election. And then actually show up and vote, could you? Would that be too much of a stretch? Because I know maybe some people go, well, I registered to vote. That's all it takes, right?
So that expires, Ray? Like if you don't vote?
I forget.
It dies out, or
it's one of the. It's like if you don't vote in like 2 elections, or you're dead, or you moved, or something like that.
Re-register.
Yeah. And it's not even that big a deal. Even if your registration is late, I mean, they still let you vote. You can cast a ballot, the provisional ballot, or something like that. Somebody will take a look at it. But just go out and vote. I worry about things like that when it comes time for elections because I wonder, all these people that are let's go. And there's, oh my God, we need change, or I'm tired of this, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't vote because boat party, or I don't know, I partied at campaign headquarters the night before, man, and I forgot. I woke up so hungover, bro. I forgot. Sorry about that, Chief. 8:43 in the morning, and just how much change do we need? What do you tolerate in terms of change? I think about living here on Guam, and the subject came up again. I'm talking to some friends. And they're talking about decisions that they made to move and choose to live on Guam. And I'm not saying they're questioning any of those decisions. It's just that now is a little bit tougher for people to make ends meet, even people of means. I don't want to say advanced means. I'm not, I'm pretty sure that, for guys like, I don't know, anybody in the Calvo or Jones family, they look at the price of fuel going up and price of electricity going up and going, well, I guess I better sell more widgets, sell more cars, or whatever it is that we're doing. Not everybody has got the capability to add that elasticity to their income. I'm sorry. I've got the loop in my head again about, maybe it's time to go and get a second job. Maybe it's time, Real Joe, that you and we leave here early enough in the day, go home, have a beer, grab a nap, and then go out and do something else.
Welcome to Home Depot.
With the 10 or 11 hours. Key guy, right here.
Key guy.
Shotgun to key guy.
How many do you need?
I'm the key guy.
Quick set?
Sorry, that's not a sledge. You got that.
See, we're already ready, man. We're ready.
Have you considered digital? I'll push people in that direction when they are going, I need to put a new lock on the front door. So get a digital one. Why? Because it's cool.
It is.
Because you don't need to worry about having a key. I've lived in the world of digital key locks at the house and at the office for 5, 6, 7 years since about when they came out. And the reason why is because I am not forgetful, but can be absent-minded. And a number of times that I've walked out of the house without a key is substantial. And it's nice to know that I don't have to break open a window or call somebody that has a spare to come and get me back in the house.
Remove louvers.
What
is it, 3 or 4 for you to fit through there, Ray?
No, just pull out the whole window now. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. You know what's but here's the thing. Okay, so lies I tell myself so I can sleep. So around a couple of months ago, I said by my birthday I wanted to lose 20 pounds. By my birthday, I'd lost more like 8. And I'm not satisfied with that. I'm gonna keep getting out there and doing my running and my walking and my hiking and my training. But one of the other things I thought I would like to do is to do a little bit of strength training. Like to do just a little bit of strength training. I've got some dumbbells at the house and some kettlebells. And so but I also noticed that I'm putting on weight and I'm hungry more as a result of that. Now I don't. And here's the thing is I'm going in the wrong direction. And I'm feeling like, wow, I needed to lose all these pounds, but now I'm working out, strength training working out, and is that fat turning into muscle, which is heavier and denser, which is why I'm no longer under 185 and now closer to 190 where I started, right? Is that what happens when you work out?
Muscle, man, yeah. And the hair, too. The hair's long.
Oh, the hair's... dude.
People are commenting, man, about your hair, dude.
I'm one six-pack away from just saying, to hell with it, I'll do it myself. I use the same clippers that I use on my beard, on my hair. 8:47 in the morning. So what have you been reading lately? Who's that?
It's Dave.
Which Dave?
The director.
Dave Del Sola?
Yeah, Department of Labor.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Hey, Dave, where's my pool?
Give him a break.
Where's my new and improved pool? Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing much better now. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
My first day back. So.
We've been trying to get a hold of Dave for the last few days, the last couple of weeks actually, and so I wanted to congratulate you. I don't know what string you had to pull or what magic that you performed, but I want to congratulate you. You now have the Chanel. Dave Del Sola is now the boss of Janela Carrera.
Well. Thank you. I appreciate it. You should have still left that as your message the first time. I would have called definitely. Congratulate me,
Yeah. Well, how'd that happen? What'd you do?
Well, we have some big things coming up. We're planning. We're working together with the governor's office, and there's a lot of people unemployed, and now they want to get up and they want to start working. There's a lot of employers now that want and need employers.
Yeah.
The hotels are opening up. They're starting to want and need employers. So, as you know, I lost my PIO, and there's a lot of stuff that we want to do here. And so stay tuned for new and improved things moving forward. And I have somebody that I was doing all the PIO work, and so now you know why there has been not much going out.
Well, and you're right. There's a lot. There's still a whole lot of unexpended funds that are aimed at the Department of Labor, aimed specifically at getting people back to work. Now that the POA programs have been done since October of last year, it's still interesting to me that there are as many people, and you can tell there's not a whole lot of people applying for some of these jobs, because I don't know about you, but some of the services and some of the places where I've been to, just absolutely disgraceful. We are hiring people from the very bottom of the barrel.
And that's what I'm trying to tell these, unemployed. Now's the time to get into a new field or step in on the ground floor, and you'll move up very, very quickly if you show initiative.
If you show up,
intelligence.
If you just show up on time.
Work hard. You'll move up the ranks so much faster than you would ever do.
I'll make you the CEO if you show up day one. Thanks for filling out the application and all of that stuff, but it'd be nice if you actually come to work. And we hear stories about that. People that will come in and you'll go through the application process right up to you're hired. And then when it comes down to the first day of the job, they're going, yeah, I kind of changed my mind. Sorry about that. My stamp card's still full, 10 away from the top of the hour. But I was pleased to note a number of job fairs that took place over the last few days. And I'm sure that you guys over at the Department of Labor were watching that as well. A lot of private side hotels doing significant hiring, and virtually every department.
Trying to help out. And we're trying to help out with those. Like as you heard me say before, Ray, anybody that's holding a job fair, give us a call. We will help you man it. It will help the people come in, fill out their applications. And I think it's next week, we're conducting interview and resume skill training classes here at the AJC. They've been filled to capacity the last two. And so that way, when you fill out that application, you know how all the key phrases and the words and how to frame yourself to get the best resume and the best application for it, especially a lot of the kids. Kids don't know how to fill out a resume when they say, oh, I don't have any experience. But you do have experience. You have life skills, whether you played on a football team or a team. You learn teamwork, whether you joined and volunteered at church. These are all character references and things that you can put in a resume as a young kid that shows, wouldn't you like to hire somebody that had strong ROTC or civic duties, volunteers? That shows our moral character. These are the kind of things that our youth and even the adults need to know, that there are a lot of things you can put in a resume that make you stick out. And that's where we can help you at Department of Labor, train you for that. And we can help businesses. We understand and encourage anybody that wants to hire or do your own little hiring thing. We'll assist you, because you know how much manpower that takes.
Oh, God.
People coming in. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll
yes, I
in.
do.
We'll help you. Yeah.
852. Dave Del Sol. I mean, you can tell he's evangelizing now. I had Denise Mendiola in the studio on Friday talking about opening up another couple of boot camps over at GCC. Diesel mechanics. Oh my God! And there's here. And I love this. Number one, the training is free. And number two, I guarantee that you get just passing grade here. There will be a guy from one of the big trucking companies that we've got here on Guam, or one of the big, generator maintenance and repair companies that will hire you on the spot, because now you've got certification. And we need guys in all of those job categories.
And I love working with GCC. They not only do the training, but they tie a job after the training. And that's what the model is that we're trying to promote, is you graduate, you get a certificate, you got a job waiting for you.
Yes.
And those are the kind of classes that we are funding. They have funds. We have funds. We're just slamming truck driving, we We have a great bus driving that we're going to have another class that are tied at Public Works for the bus drivers that are driving the school buses. They actually do an internship at DPW while they're getting their bus driving license with us, and they're being trained. And these are the kind of things that we're moving towards, and we have so many in the works with GCC. Mariana's training, where you can become a CNA, a medical code and billing, registered nurse. There's so many different classes. If you want to go into a new career field, we'll train you. It's free. I have training dollars. GCC has training dollars. We're just trying to put them all together and offer as many types of training so that you can go into a new on-demand career path that'll line you up right into a job. There's so much going on, and that's why I needed Janella. There's too much going on that I need to get the word out to the public, what classes are coming up, what kind of people that they're looking for. Basically, you just got to get up, have a will to learn, and if it interests you and you can get into a new career, train, and get a new job. And it doesn't cost you anything. So
they're higher paying jobs. They're once you get yeah, that's the thing here. 8:54 in the morning, and I want to pass something along to you. And you may not call her Chanel. That's our name. That's the radio station's name for her. And has been since, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I asked her what she wanted for Christmas, and that was the first word that came out of her mouth, Chanel.
So what's my nickname?
You may call her. You may call her.
For me.
Yeah, no. I'm a little bit of inside knowledge I'm going to help you out with. She's going to kill me for telling you. Her childhood nickname is Jella. Jela. Jela. And I think maybe only her mom still calls her that. So if you need to get her attention, just Jella.
She's only been with us for just over a week now. And she's already got a lot of great ideas, even things that I haven't thought of, and that's find hard to believe. So she's come in and just taking control. we're gonna start spending money on the radios and on TV.
Yeah, about that. About your budget here. I don't. You know what? You just pull everything from every other radio station you got. Just give me the whole budget, and I will spread it around between Daryl's show and Kyle's show and my show, and you'll have the entire market tied up.
Well,
I'm so glad
you're gonna have to talk to Jella.
I'm so glad that you're back to work. Listen to you. I mean, this almost. I almost feel like I'm talking to Mayor Jess Allig, right? Because you're full of.
I was laid up. I was laid up for several weeks.
Yeah.
And, I don't mind saying I had the nastiest bout of COVID that just rebounded on me, and I got over it. I was well. I was back to work, and then it rebounded again. And it wasn't like bad. It just kept going. And you never saw me. I got scratches all over the walls and the ceiling. I can't stay still.
No.
Inside
we're not made that way.
I just wasn't made that way. I was driving everybody in my department crazy because I was just making phone calls and until I lose my voice, and then I couldn't talk anymore. But as you can see, my voice is back, and it is dying to get out there. I'll keep going and going.
Well, tell you what, you and Jella are welcome. Come by the radio station one of these days as we get close, because I know you got a couple of things that you're going to be launching, if not this week, then next, that is like job fair oriented. You want to get some studio time, swing by.
I will do that. Thank you for the offer.
Looking forward to it. Just bring the girl.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I know better than I come by myself.
I'll talk to you later, Dave. Good having you back on the air.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yep. Dave Del Solo for the Department of Labor. And yeah, he was, as the man says, laid out. And I don't know, because I'm not going to say that he and I are alike. But we have similarities. One of them is that we have kind of a high bias for action. We like to see things going all the time. And so when you've got good team, good program, you got access to virtually all of the financial resources that you need. And if you're not there to push the button, and while we like to, delegate things, it's also fun to supervise and to maintain a string on whatever the program is. Anyway, we're closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. I got this from Jerry Perez. This is a shot at the Deucet. And these are a bunch of Koreans that want to be getting their free testing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We need to spread them out, Ray.
What's that?
They're too close to each other, man. Just kidding.
Okay. Listen, I don't want to be critical, but the next time you shoot a whole lot of pictures of shoot from the other end. We like faces around here, and I know that many of them are wearing masks because I don't know. There's a whole other conversation that we need to have. A buddy of mine was hanging out over at PIC the other day, and there's a guy who is covered head to toe. And now that's not surprising. Koreans have got a thing about not wanting to get dark. And get a dark either suntan or burned by the sun or any of that stuff. So it's kind of cliche already. Where we're at the beach and I'm wearing butt thong whatever, and next to me might be a Korean guy and his wife, and they're covered literally from the toe all the way to the top of their head, and just got little places where their eyes come out, and those might even be covered. And he was saying he saw a guy over there, and then he saw the kid, and in addition to all of that, the kid had a mask on. And in the swimming pool, it was a mask designed for kids to swim in, apparently. And I thought, there's a drowning hazard if I ever heard of one. And I just wish we can get past this nonsense and this insanity at some point fairly quick, because I like seeing teeth. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. When we return, I haven't had a chance to talk about it. I saw it over the weekend, and I thought, oh, this is going to be fun to riff on. Progressive change is possible.
I don't know who wrote that, Ray.
MP Julian Jensen. And he uses all of the fun, progressive, Democrat, communist, socialist language. I'll share that with you in a moment.
Will be on more than just that day when the hearings resume.
Illinois GOP Congressman Adam Kinzinger on CBS Face the Nation said while the day of the riot was the culmination, the aim is to show that former President Trump spread misinformation. But beyond that,
pressures the vice president, and then eventually when he can't get his way, he tries to pressure Congress, but not just public pressure, but in a public attack.
Many other Republicans have called the hearings a show trial and an attempt by Democrats to distract from issues of crime and the economy facing the country.
Fox's Gernal Scott. A bipartisan group of Senate negotiators say they've agreed on the framework for additional gun control measures.
Now, the outline of the measures that they've agreed on include funding to help states implement and pass red flag laws. It has billions more for mental health and school safety and expanded background checks for gun purchasers under the age of 21. The bipartisan group was led by Senators Chris Murphy and John Cornyn. 10 Republicans in total signed on to this agreement, meaning that as it's written now, at least, it has the 10 needed to advance in the Senate.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff in Washington. Congress continues work on a bill to provide more security to Supreme Court justices. Delaware Senator Chris Coons on Fox News Sunday.
We have to strike the right balance here between protecting freedom of speech in this country and ensuring that our justices and judges are safe.
Large protests are expected in the Capitol if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. More misery to fill up. The Lumberg survey reports the price for a gallon of gasoline spiked 39 cents over the past 3 weeks and now average $5.10 per gallon. The highest price in San Francisco at $6.55 a gallon. America is listening to Fox News.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment located in Harmon Industrial Park.
South Korea says North Korea has test-fired suspected artillery pieces into the sea. The suspected launches come days after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for greater defense capability to cope with outside threats. North Korea has conducted several weapons tests this year. South Korean and U.S. officials say North Korea has almost completed preparations for its first nuclear test in about 5 years. A lawsuit against the National Rifle Association can move forward.
That's a judge's ruling on a lawsuit brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James against the NRA. The nearly 2-year-long legal fight can continue with the potential for fines and other remedies if the Attorney General prevails. James says it confirms the suit's, quote, legitimacy and viability. The New York case began when the Democratic AG accused some top NRA executives of financial improprieties and sought to dissolve the group. The NRA was chartered in 1871 in New York, meaning James has oversight. The group's lawyer said they were disappointed but would keep fighting the case and still believes they were unfairly targeted. Samantha Liebman, Fox News.
More than 24 men were arrested yesterday in Idaho near a pride parade in Coeur d'Alene and are accused of conspiring to riot. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer has more.
Police in Coeur d'Alene confirming those people came to the event from multiple states and were found in the back of a rental truck.
31 people were detained. They were all wearing similar attire. They had shields, shin guards, and other riot gear with them. At this point, they appear to be affiliated with the group Patriot Front.
So police say all 31 people are being charged with conspiracy to riot. One man's hat said victory or death. Another's shirt read Reclaim America.
Police say many of the men wore patches identifying them with the Patriot Front group. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh does it again, bringing back a classic fan favorite on the menu. The roast beef returns. And not just any roast beef, it's choice Angus roast beef, flavorful and satisfying on its own, or layered with oven-roasted turkey and Black Forest ham in the Subway Club. Whether you're a choice Angus roast beef purist or like the variety of the Subway Club, both come piled high on hearty multi-grain bread with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Get your fill of the new roast beef at Subway. Eat fresh.
Are you looking for job opportunities? That's perfect. TaiHo is a company based in Korea that provides opportunities for people to work at production sites in the United States. They offer a wide variety of jobs that may suit you. Come and check it out. For more information, visit www.gotomainland.com or go to their office at the old iConnect building or call 671-648-9788. What are you waiting for? Go grab that opportunity and fly out to the mainland.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
I'm so glad I live here. And you can say that almost anytime you want to. It's so nice. I like it here. You know why? Because it's hot, but it's not that hot. I will tell you where the hottest temperature recorded today is. It's 6 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Portions of the program are brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global president with a local home.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Seven after Riggins and Joe, because it's Monday. Have a Monday, everybody. Have a good weekend. It was goofing off on Friday and goofing off on Saturday and continued goofing off on yesterday. I, as Governor Lulian Guerrero would say, I milked this weekend. I did not have even the parts that I would consider to be like boy chores. You know, I rocked it. I was having a good time. I mowed the yard, even though technically it didn't need mowing.
Oh, it didn't grow much.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't grow much in the last couple of weeks. 3 weeks, I want to say, since the last time that I did the yard. At least the yard in the front was tame. The one in the back was kind of, it needed some attention. It needed a haircut like I do. But I went out there and enjoyed that process. And I started looking at the patio, thinking, you know, today's a good day to do some pressure washing. So I got some pressure washing in, and then I rewarded myself by going hiking with some friends and spending the rest of the time goofing off down down, and I'd been there before, but it must have been 82 maybe. When was the last time you went to the bottom of the of Marine Lab at the University of Guam?
Too long.
That's kind of where we ended
up. I can't remember what it looks like, man. It's been that long.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you know there's houses back there now? There's really nice, fancy houses.
Yeah.
You go down that hill.
Well, they got a view, man.
No, they don't. Not really.
No,
No, you gotta. Yeah, because they're built next to the road, but they're still like 100 yards, and then it's like ugly, craggy cliff. It's very, very dangerous. But down at the bottom, there's a little beachy area, a small, tiny little beachy area. But that was nice, and honestly, I don't remember much of that from the last time I was there. And I think, like I said, the last time I was there was a student at the University of Guam in the summer of '83, and a completely different campus than what it is now. Have you been by the university recently?
No,
they've got these little like brainwashing signs in the front. Where
are they digital?
No. These little signs in different colors and stuff like that, and they talk about all this woke stuff about gender equality and justice, or all those words they like to use. And I was wondering where some of these kids are picking this stuff up, and now I get it. I'm just driving to school. You got to go through this signs of propaganda. Otherwise, it was a nice art project.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in there. That all of the things that they were trying to instill, I suppose, in the observer. I guess at some point I kept looking for one that said I was waiting for one that would fit into my mindset at the time, and something that we need to do for young wayward women, or something along those lines. But it's hard to talk about on the radio. All right, so I told you that I was looking for this, and I found it. And it was, believe it or not, harder to find than I thought it would be. I thought it would be easy to just go in there and say, what's the hot record temperatures today on Google? And that kept sending me in the wrong direction. I finally got it. What is the hottest? Here's the question that you need to ask Google if you want to find out about this. What is the hottest temperature on Earth right now? And Google, being what it is, has an answer. The hottest place on planet Earth right now is a place called Furnace Creek Ranch.
How ironic.
Which I believe is in Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Yeah. Which I always thought was a great name for it. People, they talk about global warming. Oh, look at the global warming. It's catching up with us. How can it catch up with? There's already a place called Death Valley. Because it's hot there.
It's a canary in the coal mine.
And it's been there for thousands of years. And nobody lives there. You know why? Because it's called Death Valley. Well, you can't live in a place called, you never hear anybody. They always say, hey, let's move the family out to Vegas or Seattle.
Death Valley.
What do you want to go? I think I want to move to Death Valley. I don't think I want to be able to blister and burn. You could literally cook stuff on a sidewalk out there. It is 134 degrees. 134 degrees.
I can't even imagine.
So you might be wondering, well, how long is this record? Is this today's record? No, this has been since 1911 to now. That has been the record holder of the hottest spot on planet Earth. 134 degrees today. And congratulations to the resident of Furnace Creek Ranch. It's like the one guy.
Population one.
You gotta go check out the rain meter every once in a while, just on a lark. Just gonna make sure that it's still there, catching dust or whatever. 9/11. What's a hot day on Guam? Like 94 with the heat index. I mean, does the temperature ever really soar? And not really. We're blessed out here. Sure, we have hot days, but they're it's the kind of heat I want to say that encourages people to wear less. Do you know, just go, I want to go to the beach and shed every layer of clothing, save a piece, just enough so I don't get arrested, and then jump in the water and then go back out on the beach and just repeat the process over and over and over again until the sun goes down, which is kind of what we ended up doing. Yeah, pretty much all weekend. I know I did some of that on Friday. Got out to the beach with my crew and did the sunset hunt. Did the same thing on last night because I was my Friday wasn't that good. It was good, but it wasn't that good. And then it came down to, okay, we're going to leave the beach now. Let's go find something to eat. Let's go find something to eat. And at 7:30-ish in Tumon on a Friday night, not easy. Not easy. First of all, a big chunk of the places are still closed, and the ones that are open, you just look at them. They get this little girl at the front, and who looks like she's desperate for a shift change that ain't coming, and you kind of look at her, and she shoots back this look at you like, "Sir, this is going to be at least a 30-minute wait." At least a 30-minute wait. You got to get the people in there, roll over the tables, do all of this stuff. All of a sudden, you try to remember in your head, okay, get out of Tumon. That's all you got to do. Get out of Tumon. You can get to the fringes of Tumon. And I'm going to give them a plug because they were right on time, and there was no waiting, and I walked into Tower of London on Friday night.
Tower of London.
Tower of London. Walked into Tower of London on Friday night and nestled up on one of the spots near what I think is the jukebox. I don't know. The jukeboxes don't look like jukeboxes anymore, right?
No, they don't, man.
Anyway, you nestled up into a spot over there, and a guy comes out, gets the beer order, and says, "Would you like something to eat?" And I said, "What do you have that you can give me now?" And it was fish and chips. And there are people listening now that know what a beautiful thing it is. Some of the food that they've got over at Tower of London, including the fish and chips, and are saying, "A wise choice, young man. Very, very good. Would you like some? We've got some malt vinegar here. It's a very good." And you go, "What's a? Do you remember what was the name of the place? Long John's." Long John Silver. Remember when Taco Bell had Long John Silver?
Yeah.
We were kings. I swear to God, that was the best because you could go and get a taco and fish and chips.
Yeah, hush puppies.
Yeah, with the malt sauce. God, that was good. Anyway, I don't know. I got random thoughts in my head, and I figure I got to get them out here. Among the other random thoughts that I've got is Angel Sablon, who has committed to writing the judge a nice letter for me when I've eventually busted for something. But he sent me a note the other day along the lines of familia. He started with familia. And I'm so pleased that he considers me familia. After much prayer and thought, I decided that the place I can help shape policy and make sound efforts for our students, teachers, and parents is through the school board. The legislative process is slow, indecisive, and sometimes deliberately stagnant. And even if I were to shout high and low, I'd probably be doing just that, shouting but unheard. So I hope you will support me in this journey and help me get elected. With deep gratitude and appreciation, SYM, short for Sijuos Mossy. And I sent him a response back and said, okay, well, good luck. We know that there are going to be some changes on the board. Mark Mendiola said he's not going to be gunning and running for another time. John Fernandez, you want to talk about opportunities for change around here? This is going to be it. 9:16 in the morning. So there's random thought number 1 or 10 for today. There are a few other things in the table of contents that I haven't quite looked at yet. Gas didn't go up. It's a good thing, but it's noticeable that it didn't go up. Gas, oil, Tapis crude is trading over $130 within $1.50 or so of its lifetime record. And you're just kind of thinking, hey, where's this going to end? And I thought we were going to see a hike this weekend, and it didn't come. So I'm happy. Did you find me that Macris guy? You did. That's Macris?
He happens to be on the phone right now.
Perfect.
Doc Mac.
Dr. George Macris. And you might be going, well, what COVID-19 thing is he going to be talking about now? It's not COVID-19. Something completely, and you may also consider somewhat random, even for the Ray Gibson Show. Good morning, Doc. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Sunday and
I know everything is there. I read the paper.
Okay, Sunday. Well, I don't know if you're going to be up on this story or whether Real Joe has clued you in on why I'm reaching out to you. But I will pass along some good news, and hopefully everybody in the States and on the mainland is celebrating the idea that as of midnight on Sunday, we no longer have to worry about getting tested to come into the United States of America. CDC has dropped that requirement, and I'm sure that you're going, wow, they look, science and facts. And they looked at those things and said, let's not do this anymore.
Right. I was very, very happy to hear that.
We are hoping that
for
the
those
figures...
who travel, and And I think what's going to happen next is the vaccine requirement is going to be dropped in certain countries of interest.
Well, you and I talk about the same things all the time, so I'm sure that we share the same countries of interest to be interested in. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to help out for a lot of people that have been stuck in other countries and now can fly back into the United States of America without having to worry about a test. Hopefully, our source markets will do the same things. Hopefully, they'll see the same thing happening with Japan and Korea, et cetera, and we'll be able to move a whole lot more people between there, here, and then back home again. So that's a big deal. In the news, I was reading up on Twitter yesterday, and Justin Bieber, who my daughter still holds out hope that she might marry him or he might find her and marry. I'm serious. She's 17 years old, right? And it's still a thing. Oh, my God, Justin Bieber is my first love and my last. Justin Bieber has something called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome.
Right, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome is a infection caused by, for lack of another term, the chickenpox virus in the facial nerve. We see it when I was on Guam, it was seen. It's kind of related to, you've heard the term shingles.
Yeah.
It's related to that type of an infection, except in this case, it involves the face and there's blistering. And it's kind of related to Bell's palsy in the sense that there may be an association with the virus.
Well, the first thing I thought when I saw a picture of it, and it reminded me of when my mother had Bell's palsy.
Right, but she didn't have blistering and all that. So,
No.
Yeah, we see it. I mean, probably most doctors, especially ER doctors in Guam, have seen it. And, it's not a big thing. I think where there's a link to coronavirus is that there seems to be an increased risk of shingle infection after coronavirus. Again, a lot of this information, a lot of the adverse vaccine reporting is underreported, but, I have a couple patients that developed shingles shortly after their vaccine. Not that my experience causes it, but when you look at the data, there's an increased risk, but we don't know where he stood in the vaccine game, but, half people recover completely, and I hope he's one of them. But don't forget that Clint Eastwood had kind of the same thing, and he made it. He was kind of tough looking, but he's successful.
So it's survivable is the thing. I'm wondering. This reminds me of that whole alopecia conversation. Now, if somebody famous has got something nobody's ever heard of outside the medical community, and are we gonna have rallies? Is there going to be a special ribbon color that's going to be sorted out for this Ramsay-Hunt syndrome that he's got?
Well, the important message is, even on Guam, is if someone develops symptoms, even if it's Bell's palsy, they think they have Bell's palsy, they don't have the rash, they should seek medical attention, because if you get medications on board within 3 days, the probability of recovering quickly and more completely is much higher. And again, for a guy, it's kind of a tough look. It's the Clint Eastwood look. For a woman, it'd be a problem. And I can tell you, I put women in a hyperbaric chamber to correct that facial paralysis because they were females at no charge, because I felt sorry for them. When I was on Guam, when I had a hyperbaric chamber, and when I had a license.
I was going to say, those things haven't conspired together in quite some time, but I did not realize that would have been one of the therapies.
That is one of the therapies. Again, you have to be up on it, and that's what I do. But I have, just because wasn't covered by insurance, and you can see the patient if you catch them early enough, you can see them looking at them, because it's a glass chamber. You can see them smile, and then they recruit their muscles, and now they have a symmetrical smile. So anyway, that's a different matter, but I hope the docs that have access to a hyperbaric chamber and have somebody who seems to have a dense facial paralysis from Bell's palsy, reach out to
GRMC's got one.
GRMC and see if they could use it even on a compassionate basis, if nothing else.
9:22 in the morning. Now, what is it about hyperbaric chambers? You give me some schooling and remind me again. I'm sure you've explained it more than once. What is the why is there an efficacy connected with infections, inflammations, and quicker recoveries using a hyperbaric chamber?
All right. Right. Well, in this particular instance, hyperbaric oxygen at pressure acts as a medication. But what it does is it tends to reduce inflammation acutely. So you may get a 20 to 30% reduction in edema. And in this case, you have a nerve that's passing through a tight conduit in a bone, and it takes the pressure off it. Once you take the pressure off once you decrease the swelling, what we call, the osmotic pressure, or, and you can begin to unload water and the pressure is relieved, circulation improves and cells start working and they can take more water out. Simply stated, it starts a positive cascade towards reduction in edema. But with respect to infection, white blood cells need oxygen to they make little peroxidase bombs, and they need this to fight infection. And if there's low oxygen, they don't do anything at all. They're just kind of drunk and sluggish. But it's kind of a long lecture. But it's perfect for Guam because you have those types of diseases which are amenable, especially diabetics.
Well, and so there's a couple of points that need to get made about this. Is some people will overlook that, thinking a hyperbaric chamber is only good for folks that have got the bends.
Right, but no, it's most often used for infections such as the diabetic foot. But what people have to realize is if they go to hyperbaric medicine and they get their diabetic foot healed, it's a permanent heal, and 80 to 90% of those feet will be on the person, or that leg will be on that person 5 years later. And when I started the chamber in Guam, and we had that same experience, and we have it in the U.S. But very, very rarely is it used for diving accidents. But it's good to have on Guam for obvious reasons because you have a diving community.
Absolutely.
But there's some other news that's relevant to you, I think, listening to your weight loss challenges.
It's just kind of disappointing because, like I said, I figured, once I shed all of these pounds, wouldn't it be great if all of a sudden my abs showed up? Because I can feel them underneath a thin layer of COVID-19 or beer or whatever the hell it is, and so I'm doing the strength training here and trying to 60 years old is hard to make muscle when you're in the sexagenarian category. So I'm thinking, all right, well, as the weight melts away from me, then all of a sudden there will be more physical features that show up that are attractive to certain kind of people, and so I'm moving in that direction. But like I said, I think it's not necessarily converting fat to muscle, but is densing up the muscle, and that's adding the pounds that I'm trying to get off.
Well, first of all, you're correct in that if you're developing muscle, you can't look at the scale. You got to look at measurements. And along the line of protein, they've kind of increased the allowable protein with people with normal kidney functions who want to train and lose weight more to like up to 2 or even 2.4 grams per kilo. That is a lot of protein to eat per day, but they found that it fills you, it helps hold muscle on, and you don't cheat. You don't want to eat anything else. You're so satisfying. So before we kind of cut it off at 1.5. So basically, you're back to the high protein intake. Again, you're not diabetic and you have normal kidney function, and you can obviously check with your doctor. So if I were you, I'd be, that's a lot of meat to eat. But the thing that you're not going to want to hear is that alcohol, 1 or 2 units of alcohol can inhibit fat breakdown. That's why people who drink a lot of alcohol, simplifying it, have fatty liver. So if you really want to lose weight and train, then you could talk to your friends who do bodybuilding and competitive work. They don't touch alcohol, or they limit it to maybe 1 drink because it will inhibit the breakdown of fat.
I only ever have 2 fingers. These 2. You know what I'm. You know the gesture I'm making. You know the gesture I'm making. Well, I guess I'll just okay. I'll ponder some of that as I do my soul searching here before I pick up my dumbbells again.
Right. So increase your protein, which is going to stimulate growth hormone. Continue your workout. It'll be slower, way down, but you'll just take a week off from beer, and you'll probably watch some rapid changes. So I'm sorry to say that.
So people won't know who the hell I am.
The last thing I want to do is just quickly look at mortality on Guam, and you're still way down there. The Philippines, 1.63%, USA, 1.18%, Guam is 0.7%. So Guam, once again, is doing very, very well. And then there's some little nerdy stuff that's coming out in the literature regarding genes, but we'll reserve it for another time, but it could help explain what's going on.
Well, I'd like to be able to see my initial resistance to COVID-19, the disease, and I'd like to put that down to healthy living, maybe the fact that I'm O positive, not a Taurus. I don't know. There's any number of factors. I think when we start looking at the data monsters that are out there.
Not a Taurus.
What's that?
I was going to say not a Taurus or not a Torres. Anyway,
there's Martinez Torres in the background, but definitely Taurus and Tiger. I don't know. Like I said, there's a big data dump that needs to get filtered and analyzed to find out why some people got it, a lot of people didn't, and some people had it bad and some people didn't, and so we wonder why. What are the majority of the factors besides the obvious ones on how. Right. How, for some people, COVID-19 was just a limited inconvenience.
Right, but to see the U.S. drop the requirement is going to start a cascade because people tend to look at the U.S. for guidance for whatever reason. Yep. And I think this is going to everything's going to begin to fall apart, and I think very, very rapidly, much more, we're going to start going back to normalcy, who cares about vaccines, who cares about testing. So, I'm optimistic. I think you're going to see it all start happening very soon.
I got my fingers crossed.
But, yeah, so anyway, that's it. That's all there is to that. There isn't anything really exciting in medical news.
That's all right. Well, like I said, I wanted to, this Ramsey Hunt thing. I think young people are going to be interested in it because their hero has got it. 9:29 in the morning. Doc, you have a fantastic Sunday, and if something else comes up this week, we'll find you.
Roger that.
Roger.
Bye-bye.
9:29. Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. And I'm sorry, I was distracted from the conversation when he was talking about protein. Somebody at that exact moment sent me a picture, this must be big in Japan now, of what they're referring to as the Trump burger. 700 grams. How much is that in meters?
I don't know, man.
700 grams.
It's a lot of ounces.
Sounds like a lot of pounds. Sounds like it might be... So I only know a couple of guys that could figure this out. One of them is a beer brewer, and the other guy's a junkie.
There's 28 grams in an ounce, Ray.
Okay.
That's all I know.
So 700 grams worth of the Trump burger, which has peanut butter, fried egg, couple of strips of bacon, sloppy Joe.
Did you say peanut butter, man?
It said peanut butter. I think that's for the I don't know, yellow topping. A couple of slices of cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, and it's buns. And obviously there's some meat in there. And that is what's going around Japan as the Trump burger. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know if there is somebody that is willing to duplicate something like that for me. But if you are, then hit me up on the WhatsApp because I might find myself in your place. Leave the bun. Leave the bun. I did it again. I went to Joe G's thing over at Applebee's and got myself one of their burgers, and kind of took the top off and most of the bottom. I ate like one slice of it with the actual cheeseburger with the bun, and then this got rid of the buns because I'm trying not to get my carbs from bread because that lessens the number of carbs I can get from beer. You get it. Anyway, 9:31 in the morning. 888-8255 is the telephone number. Meme Machine is working. 797-8255. You got something fun that you want to share, and I'm going to when come back from the break. Read to you from today's opinion section in the Pacific Daily News. So stand by.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, baby. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, baby.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Joyce Broadcasting introduces their unbeatable lineup of morning shows.
Hands down winners of Guam's morning radio battle.
Daryl Lizama grooves his way to Boss 104, playing Guam's favorite classic hits.
Morning mouth Ray Gibson shakes the cage on 93.3 The Point.
And now, we are proud to announce the Morning Blender with Kyle Mandapat, mixing it up at sunrise on Star 101.
If you're an advertiser trying to reach the most valuable ears, we've got the shows that listeners have been tuning into for decades.
One call gets all three.
671-888-7346. That's 888-REIO.
How about?
Sounds like a bundle to me, man.
I know. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Nissan. And Nissan has declared that the summer of 2022 is here. You can tell because they've got great deals on great wheels. I know that sounds kind of cliche for the car business, but it really is true. They got these Rogues, they got the Sentras, they got the Frontier, one of my favorite trucks ever in the history of Datsun trucks. Sorry, Nissan trucks. And right now, zero down payment. Zero down. Because they know, hey, not a whole lot of people got money. And we've been touting the fact that many of the cars that I just mentioned have better than 30 miles to the gallon. You know, I checked on my ride over the weekend as I was driving all the way down to Interlan. Beautiful, scenic, traditional Interlan. Maybe one of the best places on Guam. And certainly one of the best mayors on Guam down there as well. And I'm here to tell you that he does an outstanding job with that. But as I'm driving down, doing a calculation in my head and realizing that my ride on a good day, 20 miles to the gallon. And this comes just after putting gasoline in the car at $6.34, hence the calculation. And if you're doing the calculation and coming with similar numbers, don't wait. Today, go to Nissan. Tell them, I heard the guy on the radio, that Ray Gibson guy, what did he say? Zero down payment? What are the other terms? Super flexible terms, A. B, how about this? 1.99% APR. Got good credit? Got credit as good as mine? You're going to be able to drive away in a brand new Nissan today. And isn't that the goal? Yes, baby. Oh, man. Opinion section. Today's PDN. Bob's going to love this. Help prevent youth suicide. Connect with Guam's kids. All right. There's a feel-good piece. And then Bistro Rosanova Mendiola writes, support entrepreneurs and home businesses.
Biba.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? People that do, I don't know, kind of, look, you want a haircut? I'll come to your place of work and give you a haircut. Why don't we have that, Real Joe? Why?
Oh, man, health issues?
Stupid.
Public health?
Whatever. Well, look, I'll wash my hands, you wash your hands, and then you just cut my hair and then vacuum up the stuff and then go.
Yeah, we don't have the hair washer tub.
I got a hose in the back. We got a hose in it. I'll get my hair wet, but I don't disagree. I think maybe there needs to be like a nod every once in a while, just basic hygiene and safety and that. But if you got it working, here give you an example. Tita's Goods-eria, Mama Tita. She doesn't have a factory. She got a backyard, and that's where Guam's best Goods-eria and other great snacks are made. So congratulations to her. I know. I used to know. You can see it more and more now. There's a bunch of people that are doing side hustles online. But I used to know this lady, and she made empanaditas. And that was the deal. And work it out. Maybe if you're close friends with her, she'd make you some for the office or, for the school or whatever. That was always kind of nice, or for family. But wouldn't it be something else if you got into that hustle where, what are you doing? I'm making empanaditas and sell them. We're going to see a whole lot of here that, in my mind, meet kind of the entrepreneurial aesthetic is the guys that are out there fishing for manahawk. You see them out there, and in some cases, you've seen the video. It might still have it on the meme machine somewhere, but there were guys that were literally bringing in net loads of these things. I mean, in the several dozens of pounds. Fill up this big Yeti cooler, go get another one because we're going to fill that one up as well. And you can sell what is Ziploc bag, a sandwich Ziploc bag for like $5. Or I was going to say, or you fry it and then sell that. But you need to eat fried manahawk within minutes of it coming out of the oil. A lot of people don't realize that.
Crispy.
It doesn't travel well, doesn't store well. But if you're in the kitchen when grandma is making that and you're able to get it just as it's cooling off on the newspaper or the paper towel, whichever.
Yeah, newspaper.
But there's only one thing about eating manahawk that I don't like. And that is when the little barbs that don't fry away completely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get to stick it in your tongue and it stabs you and makes your face numb. All right, so in 9:37, and I saw this actually yesterday and sent myself a copy, and then I picked up the newspaper today, and it was actually in print. Julian Jensen, who is a resident of Tumon, but also... What is he, the president of the Progressive Democrat Party of Guam?
The Programming Democrats.
I don't know why they didn't put that there. They should put that there.
He lives in Tumon, wow.
Just sounds like, here's a random guy that wants to spout all this communist and socialist nonsense and use all the favorite buzzwords to get it done. They should have said he's a president or whatever of the Progressive Democrat, whatever. This is the guy when Cousin Troy told him to have a nice night.
Yeah.
He took that as a threat.
Yeah, he did. Threatened me.
Hey,
my livelihood.
How dare you? How dare you threaten me with having a good night? I want to have a bad night. And I can dream up just how bad America is and how bad democracy is. Anyway, as Guam, I'm reading from his thing now. As Guam moves into a firmer recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, health remains one of the major uncertainties, even as the success of mass vaccination program has made the pandemic less deadly. Is that what it did? I'm still yet to have any proof that the vaccines have done anything that is what the vaccine when you first got it, or when the second one, or the third, or now the fourth booster shot. It works so good, you gotta recharge it every once in a while. And if you don't recharge it, why aren't we back in super pandemic time with all of these vaccines that have worn off? Sorry, I digress. Never mind science. The future of the global, national, and local pandemic is uncertain. It is in this environment that we must determine the safest and best approach to rebuild the livelihoods of Guam's people on a stronger basis. The mass vaccination program, parenthetically, which would have been made illegal under Senator Frank Blas's Bill 176, has given partial immunity to almost every adult on Guam. Ray Gibson and Real Joe not included. This is the first part that I underlined. It seems appropriate to institute a mandatory vaccination and booster program for the FDA-approved Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. What? What? Excuse me? This is not the communist Guam. This is the socialist Guam. This is the people. This is not the People's Republic of Guam. We cannot mandatory. You cannot make something mandatory. And they tried, and that only divided the community. You want to go through that stuff again? Get out of here. The cost of living has risen during the pandemic due to profit gouging by large multinational corporations which monopolize the U.S. food and fuel market. Whoa, how about the profit gouging from the large multinational drug companies? You remember that? Wait, hold on. Here, we need to protect ourselves. I'm going to make it so that I'm going to give you a vaccine that we're kind of testing on the fly, and you can't sue me. We're not going to show you any of the paperwork that went into the development of this for 75 years, like it's evidence from the Kennedy assassination. Yeah, when our children's grandchildren will be able to finally open up the Pfizer documentation. How many gazillions of dollars have these companies? It's okay when they gouge, right? Because it's for the vaccine, it's for the betterment, it's for the survival of the human race. Yeah, whatever. Where is it? The local government cannot fix global markets, but it can move towards a living wage.
Here we go.
You know, some people do things to porn. Some people do them to phrases like living wage. And it's a concept that we talk about it every once in a while, where you take a look at what it takes to live comfortably on an island like Guam. Get the rent paid, cover your average water bill, cover your average power bill, cover the average cost of putting food on the table, and they say, well, you know, it's hard for people to make that living wage. So we augment that by offering them subsidies from the government and pay them not the difference, because there's a lot of people that don't go to work anymore. Sorry. I can make the equivalent of $15 an hour just signing up for these government programs, and they will take care of everything, and I never need to work. continue to provide Guam's families through continuing the current administration's policy on emergency supplemental SNAP benefits, the expanded food commodity distribution program, and Programa Salapi. Here's your $300. But we'll give you $300 so you can buy some gasoline. But everything that you want to buy, oh, by the way, the $300, that's the additional utility bill now that you have. It used to be $250, and now it's $550. So the Programa Salapi, they give you money with one hand and take it on the other hand. And, oh, by the way, the cost of food and everything that you need to survive is going up as well. Do we get a Programa Salapi for that? No. But if you're poor enough, you can sign up for these SNAP programs. Extending this help will promote the health and well-being of Guam's working families. Ultimately, however, the recent corporate-driven inflation is dwarfed by costs imposed on working families by the failed corporate health insurance system. Recent corporate-driven inflation. Why is it businesses are always the bad guys around here?
Yeah, it's pointing the finger, man.
Yeah, it's a regulatory nonsense, compliance nonsense, taxing. Here, how about that? I would say that the government of Guam is guilty of just as much gouging and greed as whoever these corporate driven inflation people are. And I'll tell you why. Because the government is now, A, has always lived beyond its means, but B, its means have increased significantly because the business privilege tax is 5%. And we've got inflation that is driving higher prices, but the business privilege tax is not going down. That's not helping anybody. In fact, it is up higher. The government of Guam is making bank on this inflation. And you would think it being run by Democrats with certain progressive tendencies, you'd think they'd say this money needs to go back to the people. Why are we taking so much in this business privilege? Why is the government of Guam doing so well? We need to reduce this and give that. Let the people keep this money. Wouldn't that be beneficial to their well-being and health if they get to determine how those hard-earned and hard-spent dollars are spent? Between 1980 and 2018, U.S. healthcare costs rose 633%. The problem is so acute that 2 out of every 3 bankruptcies in the United States are caused by medical expenses. Can't necessarily disagree with that, although I'd take a look at how slow the process is of turning out actual medical professionals that we've got. Maybe there's a way that we can free up some resources. Maybe have some of that education cost less. Why does education cost so darn much these days? There's no mystery about how to solve this. We must have a universal single-payer health insurance, ideally Medicare for all. Within the next few years, the people of Guam will need a new deal. Got to stick that in there for health care, providing necessary health care to every family on Guam, regardless of their ability to pay. Well, somebody's going to have to pay for that. Progressive change is possible and necessary for the people of Guam. So 633% increase in the cost of U.S. health care, and we're going to pass that on equally to all of the taxpayers. Is that what's going to happen? How? How are we going to do that? Business is going to have to pay more. Individuals going to have to fork out more money in their paychecks. Ponder, ponder, ponder. Take a look at it. I think you got all the buzzwords in there. I think we got all the progressive buzzwords onto the thing. 9:46 in the morning. You're more than welcome to take a look at that. Might be a couple of other things in the news that we can talk about. 888-8255-888-TALK. Should probably take a break, and I will be right back.
Parents, take advantage of FHP Health Center's Back to School Early Bird Special. Before summer gets too busy, make an appointment now to update your child's immunizations, PPD skin tests, and sports physicals. Call FHP Pediatrics. Most insurance plans accepted, including TRICARE, Medicaid, and self-pay patients. Call for an appointment. 671-646-5825. Press 1. Go to FHPGuam.com for more information. FHP, our island, your clinic.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Hafaday, Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does.
The title side of our business determines who owns the property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Oh, that's cool. Colin sent me, he's looking for somebody to do the magic, what do you call it, on the graphics magic on this. It says progressive change is possible. He wants to change that to change is possible, necessary for Guam. Further, wait, Republican change, possible and necessary for Guam. 9:48 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK is my telephone number. Half a day, Mark?
Rain Man.
Buddy.
A fun day, dude.
Maulik.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, I got a couple of things on you.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
I'm good. I'm still alive.
On me. Hey, whatever you heard, it's true.
Any day above ground is a good day.
Amen to that.
Hey, a couple of things. That op-ed that you just read, does that yo-yo know where he's at?
Careful. He may perceive that as a threat.
Yeah, I know, because he's going to have a good night.
I don't know if he's kind of aware of the surroundings around here.
Yeah, he sounds like, and I'm gonna be straight up on this. He sounds like a mid-20 to mid-30 individual who has a master's degree on diversity, and for some odd reason lost his ability self-thinking.
You're thinking like he's picked up a couple of books on outright progressivism and social what do they call it? Socialism. Maybe went to university and had an instructor that was in love with the concept of equally sharing the burdens in our community instead of what's the line here? Equal outcome, not equal opportunity.
Yeah. So in order to have equal outcome, you have to have equal opportunity. Basically, you got to get off your butt and work.
But why? Why? If you know what the living wage is provided for and benefits from the government, why would you work if the government can give this to you for free? If there are taxpayers out there that have been suckered into giving up their hard-earned taxes to take care of somebody that wants to freeload.
Yeah, that's because politicians, like you said, way many moons back, politicians don't care about the money because it's not theirs. They think it's theirs, but it's not theirs. So what they spend it on is up to them. They're spending, they're not making. The taxpayers are making. So when the guy talks about monopoly and price gouging and all this stuff, okay, yo, think about where you're at. We're on Guam. Okay, everything has to come in. And because of the price of fuel, we have to pay for everything coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now if you're going to turn around and say, well, make everything free, equal opportunity or equal outcome, whatever the hell you want to call it, someone had to work. So I'm thinking he's in that time frame where the government owes me, everybody owes me, I don't need to work because that's the way I was raised.
Right.
So I deserve everything that you're going to give me. If you have 3 houses, I'm going to take 1. If you have 5 cars, I'm going to take 1. You know, if you're going to buy lunch, you're going to buy lunch for me too. Why? Because I deserve it.
Society. I've earned it. That's mine.
I've earned it. Wow. How did you earn it? Oh, I was born.
I was born.
Big whoop. Big whoop. You know, my dad always told me back many years when we were, you know, a bunch of kids chasing a freaking another kid on a bike to beat him up, so it's our turn to ride. You know, you got 1 bike and 17 kids, and everyone's fighting to ride that 1 bike.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He says if you want a bike, work to make money to go buy one. Nothing is more self-satisfying than.
All right, Lanyet, lost him. But I'll finish the sentence because you and I think exactly like nothing is more satisfying than working towards something. Remember, I was 12 years old and I wanted a guitar. And guys over at Guam Academy of Music and Arts, they had a lot of guitars there. And they had a pretty acoustic guitar that I picked up and sounded pretty good. And even back then, they were considered expensive. It was $100 for this. I'm 12 years old. It's Guam in 1974. And not a whole lot to do, so I did what everybody said, is go ask somebody for money. And I'd go to my grandma. I said, Grandma, I want a guitar. How much is it? $100. $100? Get out of here. Well, is there something that I can do in the warehouse that I'm not already doing, that I can get, can I kick up my allowance from you or whatever? And Uncle Jim had a car that needed washing on a regular basis, so he'd give me a few bucks for that, and I'd polish his shoes. And Uncle Jim at the time had an incredible number of shoes for a guy. And I did that, and I'd check out the neighbors, and I'd go there, and I'd ask them, the aunties, if I could mow the yard or sweep out the back or something like that. And I'd do whatever it took. And eventually, maybe a month or two, I eventually scrounged up enough money to go over to the Guam Academy of Music and Arts and pick out my guitar. And they were nice, the boys. Threw in a bunch of picks and a couple of weeks worth of strings for me to practice on, and maybe one or two Mel Bay books because they wanted to encourage that kind of behavior among kids. A beautiful family from back in the day, and I got my guitar and I'm walking out with it, and one of the brothers, I can't remember which one, says, "Hey, you need a case for your guitar?" How much is that? Another 50? Crap! No, I think I'll just do my best to take care of it for a little bit longer. $9.55. Was that about what you were going to say? The pleasure and the esteem that you have when you've got something that you worked for, that you earned your way into?
Hey, Ray.
Yep.
Yeah, we got discombobulated.
That's okay. I finished your sentence. It's all right.
Yeah, it's Putin's fault.
Everything is Putin's fault. Nobody's buying that.
Apparently.
No, the only people that are buying that, they're the Democrats and the progressives that are looking at that saying, oh, yeah, everything was great, and then Putin invaded Ukraine. No, it wasn't. Look at the graphs. You cannot bamboozle people. It's not like the old days where nobody knew where to find the information. Now you can find the information virtually everywhere. We know what happened to the price of oil from the beginning of the Biden administration, the botched policies that he's brought to this country, and there's just no getting out from under the fact that he is literally the worst president this country has ever seen.
Yeah, I got one challenge for that yo-yo that wrote us up. I challenge him to go to a very successful person who's worked very hard for what he has. I dare him to go up there and lay claim to anything this person has. I mean, you got individuals that have 7, 8, 9 cars in the garage. They only drive one. But that's their money.
It's their choice.
They work for that. That's their choice. Just like another one who has 4 or 5 houses. Where on it does it say that the person that's successful has to pay, has to give up something to a person who's not successful because of his laziness? That's where the progressive move really cracks me up.
Well, we've seen what socialism has done, and clearly there's no current examples of a successful socialist society. And I don't care where you happen to look. You look into South America. What was it? Argentina, Venezuela, one of those countries. We're riding high. One of the top producing countries in the entire South America. And then they started instituting all of these socialist policies. And finally, it was down to breaking into the zoo to capture some of the zoo animals so that people could eat.
Yeah, that's Venezuela.
Yeah. And it happened inside of one lifetime. half of a lifetime
Yeah.
out there. It's
Yeah.
amazing to see. And then you wonder if we're ever going to pay any attention to these horrible examples, these horrible warnings that we've got. And no, there's still people that want to drive headlong into it. Yeah, medical care is expensive. It's always been expensive. How about this? How about we'll just take more money from the producers and spread it out so that everybody is in this, quote, single-payer system and everybody is paying into the deal? Well, how about everybody just take care of yourselves? Go diet and exercise where you have to do all of that, and let me keep my money. I'll keep my money. I'll take what I'll take, and then you don't have to worry about me. I will take my my money, and I will go to Champion or Hornet or Goodies and buy myself some more dumbbell and some kettlebells and all of that stuff.
But, I give you an analogy. The Progressives theme and their motto: "What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine." You remember that one?
I do. There's a song. And I can't sing it on the radio. I'll get in trouble.
But hey, to end on a lighter note. Okay, you're saying that you have to give up bread to drink more beer so you can save your carbs.
Yes. I ration my carbs.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you something. In the entirety of the 1970s and halfway through the 80s, you were a marathon runner. What did they say that was the best thing to do before a long marathon?
Carb load.
Exactly.
Yep.
But so why all of a sudden we go from that to carbs are going to kill you?
No. A very, very specific reason for wanting to carb load here is you want to deplete all of your stores. If you're a marathon runner and you're getting into that kind of training, you want to empty out your system, but you can't start a marathon without sugars, easily absorbed and easily digested sugars, and that's why a couple of days before, night before, then you carb load, refill all of those stores, and then you've got the carbs that will create the energies and the sugars that you need to get it done. That's generally the idea.
That creates a shock. That creates a shock to the body.
Your body's going to be in shock and awe from having to run 26 miles. There's nothing easy. There's nothing easy about it, and only the first couple of minutes are pleasant. You know, when you're there and they say, "Okay, let's go, Mark, ready, let's go run," and you run, and you're like, "Hey," you got goosebumps, and then all of a sudden you realize that you've got 26 miles of pain ahead. I got to break away. I got the news coming up. We'll talk again soon, my bud.
All right, you take care, buddy.
I will. I'll maybe even take a haircut. Closing in on 10 o'clock in the morning. Fox News Live is going to be next. And what are we going to do after that? I don't know. I let somebody else do it. We're going to have a couple of... this guy's a weird... I don't want to say he's a right-wing bomb thrower. It's the guys that do that news countdown thing. Anyway, be listening for that. Tall Tales, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Mana and Jerry and Joe and myself back on the radio with you tomorrow morning starting, I don't know, around 6? We'll shoot for that. It's 10. Here's the news.
Agreed upon. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. Bipartisan Senate bargainers say they've come up with the basis for a gun control bill. Fox's Alexandria Hoff.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer added this: "Once the text of this agreement is finalized, I will put this bill on the floor as soon as possible so that the Senate can act quickly to advance gun safety legislation." And Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell issued this statement in part, quote, "I continue to hope their discussions yield a bipartisan product that makes significant headway on key issues like mental health and school safety and respects the Second Amendment, earns broad support in the Senate, and makes a difference for our country."
The framework includes expanded background checks for gun buyers under 21. A federal judge in Texas has thrown out a policy that limited who ICE agents could arrest or deport. Fox's Bill Malusian in Hidalgo, Texas.
Last year, DHS Secretary Mayorkas issued a new policy which really limited who ICE can and cannot arrest or deport, limiting it to national security threats, public safety threats, and recent border crossers. The states of Texas and Louisiana sued DHS over that policy, saying that ICE was being stopped from doing its job. And on Friday, a federal judge, Drew Tipton, agreed with those states.
Secretary Mayorkas claims that just being in the country illegally was not enough to get arrested or deported. A 1-year-old girl from Georgia and her father are dead as a result of what police say was a murder-suicide. Newton County Sheriff Sergeant Jack Redlinger says deputies got a call early this morning from the child's father saying he was going to commit suicide.
While they were checking the vehicle, they heard numerous gunshots from behind the church. They went to behind the church. They located a gazebo, searched the area, and about 100 feet into the wood line, they located the baby and the father deceased.
Redlinger says the father also killed the girl's mother and wounded her grandmother yesterday. America is listening to Fox News.
all of your favorite Fox News podcasts ad-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Trey Gowdy, the Fox News Rundown, Will Kane, Brian Kilmeade, and so much more. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com for all the details. The Fox News